Virginia Tech has pumped up its attack thanks to a man of steel. No, not Superman, but super soft Michael Vick. We'll take a look at the quarterback who no mortal defense has been able to stop.
Michael Vick is on fire, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Vick, he's wowing the Hokie fans. He's wowing the nation.
He leads the 4th-ranked Hokies against Big East rival Boston College. Meanwhile, 3rd-ranked Florida has vaulted into 1st place in the SEC East after 2 straight wins against conference foes. But today, they'll have to beware of the dogs. The Mississippi State Bulldogs' tough defense is looking to impress in its home debut. 2 upset-minded teams trying to knock down highly rated foes. It all starts with Volkswagen College Football Today, next on CBS. Hello, everybody. I'm Tim Brando, and welcome to Volkswagen College Football Today. Coming up, the Home Depot College Football on CBS with a pair of regional contests. Some of you will see number 4 Virginia Tech against Boston College. The undefeated Hokies are led by the man considered by many to be the best player in college football, quarterback Michael Vick. But the Eagles are also flying high. BC has the Big East top-ranked offense in total yards. Well, Michael Vick begins his assault on the Heisman Trophy today on CBS.
That's right. Virginia Tech's their success and failure begins with number 7, Michael Vick. When you look at this guy's numbers right now, they aren't particularly impressive, right? You talk about a little bit over 400 yards in the rushing passing department, then 219 in the rushing department right now. But you got to consider that they run a balanced attack, so those numbers could be a lot gaudier than they actually really are. Look for him to break out his first network television game since the national championship last year. Now, every player needs a complimentary player to get you over the top. And for Michael Vick, that's got to be Lee Suggs. He has turned it on big time this year, Timmy. He's number 22 is running heavy right now. He's a legitimate big play threat every time he touches the ball. And the thing that I like about him, besides his 4.2 speed, this guy's averaging 7 yards a carry. He's on fire.
To take over for Chiron Stith, who has lost, obviously playing professionally now, so he's come up big. Now, you look at them defensively. John Engelberger is gone. Corey Moore also gone. And this defense isn't the kind that Frank Beamer is generally proud to have this deep into a season. How are they faring right now?
Yeah, they're doing pretty good right now, but they haven't truly been tested. The test with Miami, Syracuse comes up later down the year. Right now, they had a couple of cupcakes on the schedule that they got through, for the most part, unscathed. Now the true test comes in. They're facing some big-time guys with some big talent up front on the offensive line. We'll see how they hold up.
All right, Mississippi State and Florida. Others of you will see that game. Now, when you think about this matchup, he puts the Vick in victory for Virginia Tech. A look at the Hokies' electrifying quarterback Michael Vick when Volkswagen College Football Today continues in a moment.
Volkswagen College Football Today is sponsored by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers.
Well, if you hadn't heard of Michael Vick before last year's national championship game, you've heard of him now. The Hokies lost, but football fans gained an appreciation for a quarterback with unparalleled talent for sure. He runs a 4.25 40. He throws the ball 70 yards and was disciplined enough to lead the nation in passing efficiency as a freshman. Michael Vick's poise and natural leadership qualities, well, it makes him a perfect fit for Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech was founded in 1872 as a small military college. The motto of the Virginia Tech Corps of Cadets, which exists today and still represents the foundations that the university began with, is to train leaders of outstanding integrity. Our great leaders have shown forth on the battlefields of Normandy and over the skies in Germany, Pork Chop Hill in Korea. We're known for our leadership.
They're coming again, and Mike tucks it down. He's running with the football. Makes one man miss. Cuts outside of the 30. Makes another man miss at the 25. Turning on the Jets. Look at that speed. They couldn't catch him. Cuts back, dive, airborne, somersault, touchdown, Tech. The kid is just insane.
The students always ask me, they be like, "You Michael Vick mother?" And they just be, you know, all excited and asking me questions and everything and talking about the games and how good he is and everything. So I like to have my pictures on the bus so everybody will know that I'm his mother. not trying to brag or, you know, but I just like for him to be up here.
No one could blame Brenda Body if she wanted to brag just a little. After all, Michael Vick is the best player in the game, and she's always been his inspiration.
My mom hasn't missed a game since I was about 7 years old. Never missed a game. Never. I never looked up in the stands and didn't see my mom. I always knew she was there.
All right, Hokies! Woo!
She's everything wrapped up in one. Every time I step out there in that field, I'm playing for my mom. I'm playing to show her, look, Mom, I can do this. I can be the best player I want to be, and I'm gonna get to the top one day.
Vick keeping the horse column around the helmet, but he doesn't go down. Now he spins and runs the other way. What a play!
It's like everybody's moving in slow motion.
Oh, baby!
And I'm the only one moving in fast motion.
Running with the football, makes a man miss. He's brilliant.
When we call a play, we got two plays. The one we called and the one Michael Vick might turn it into.
Vick back to throw, fires a howitzer. Touchdown, Tech!
I'm just trying to get better. Get better as a player, get better as a leader, you know, in all aspects of my game.
He will score. Vick is sensational.
I think as he continues to play and gets more experience, more maturity, he's developing into one of the great quarterbacks of all time, if not the greatest.
Well, when he was in Little League, I knew he was a good football player and everything, but I didn't know he was going to go this far. Sometimes tears come in my eyes, and, you know, I cry. He's my baby. Even though he's big, he's still my baby.
Well, her baby's on the road today, no doubt, but she's at home, I'm sure, throwing a party, getting ready for this one, huh?
Absolutely. You know, I think it is his Heisman to lose, but understand that you can lose the Heisman more easily at the position of quarterback.
Yeah, people can't get caught up in the numbers, though. They've got to balance attack guys. And the bottom line, if he doesn't get you gaudy in one particular department, that's because they're balanced. So he's a guy, no question about it.
Well, Mom gave her son a lot of balance, and that's what Frank Beamer's doing right now, giving it to him offensively. Coming up, we'll get you caught up on more scores in today's highlights, plus a look at how surprising South Carolina is doing against Alabama, as we see Tim Hasselbeck of Boston College, who's off to a hot start as well this season. College football today continues after this. Coming up, the Home Depot College football on CBS. It's 4th-ranked Virginia Tech at Boston College, or number 3 Florida at Mississippi State. That's who let the dogs out. We'll be here for the AXA halftime report and updates throughout the afternoon. Enjoy the games here on CBS.
The Home Depot College Football on CBS is sponsored by the Home Depot, the United States Army, AXA Advisors, and by Volvo.
To your body, it's a luxury car. To the elements, it's an SUV. To your peace of mind, it's a Volvo. The new all-wheel drive cross-country.
Someday, at a job interview, they'll ask, do you work well under pressure? Try not to laugh.
My turn. The power and performance of rigid wet-dry vacs. Built so heavy-duty, they carry a lifetime warranty. Like our 16-gallon vac that converts to a 210-mile-per-hour blower in seconds. And the Home Depot's got it for just $99 every day. Rigid. Buy it at the Home Depot.
This mystery of the missing $500,000 must be cleared up. And somebody here knows where it is. Plum? Who the blazes are you?
I'm Gus.
What you think this is? Some sort of a game?
Yeah, got it in the Sunday paper.
Clear up the Sprint PCS Clue mystery and you could win $500,000. Get your game piece and great savings in your newspaper and at participating retailers.
The Adventures of Superman. Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's Superman.
If I go crazy, then will you still call me Superman? If I'm alive and well, will you be there holding my hand? I'll keep you by my side with my superhuman might, kryptonite.
We welcome you to the CBS Sports presentation of the Home Depot College Football. This afternoon, a Big East Conference encounter between the Hokies of Virginia Tech and the Eagles of Boston College. A splendid final Saturday in September in Big East College football from the campus of BC. In Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts. Located, the Eagles are about 8 miles from downtown Boston. This gorgeous campus on a beautiful fall afternoon, and a Big East encounter that features the 4th-ranked and undefeated Hokies of Virginia Tech as they come into town to take on the Boston College Eagles with their record of 2-1. And here come the Eagles and their head coach, Tom O'Brien. Right behind them, the visitors from Blacksburg, the Hokies of Virginia Tech. Their head coach, Frank Beamer. And good afternoon, everybody. Vern Lundquist along with Todd Blackledge. We welcome you to Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts. Certainly one of the magnets that has attracted us here is the presence of number 7, Michael Vick. I think, Todd, the most exciting player in college football.
Well, Vern, he possesses the most unique blend of physical skills of anybody I've ever seen playing the quarterback position. Let's talk about Michael Vick as a runner. He's got great strength, elusiveness, balance, and then just flat-out speed, the fastest on the Virginia Tech team. In fact, in the open field with the football, he's as good as any running back or wide receiver in college football. But he's more than just an athlete playing quarterback. He's also a very gifted passer, a strong and accurate arm, a lightning quick release known as the Vick Flick. But Vern, I am just as impressed with his intangibles, his heart. He's a fierce competitor, and his head. He is a guy that amidst all the praise, all the accolades, he has remained a very humble, coachable, and team-oriented guy.
You know, it's rather obvious that the task confronting BC is formidable, compounded by injuries defensively. They've got 2 starting linebackers and a defensive lineman out. What must they do to keep this competitive?
Well, the kryptonite for Boston College has to come from their offense. The offensive line in particular has to dominate things up front. That's the strength of their team, led by senior Paul Zukaskas. He's one of the captains. They've got to possess the football, keep Michael Vick and all that speed on the bench. If they can establish a presence on the line of scrimmage, they've got a couple guys who can really run the football. Senior Cedric Washington is the starter. Sophomore William Green, a great change of pace guy. They hope to keep both guys fresh and run the football at Virginia Tech.
And BC needs a big game from Tim Hasselback, their starting quarterback. The problem is he's not at 100%. For more on that, here's Jill Arrington.
That's right, Vern. Tim Hasselback is not 100%. He has a bruised right knee from last weekend's game. Now, he did sit out of practice on Thursday, mainly for precautionary reasons. I talked to him after yesterday's walkthrough. He showed me his leg. It is black and blue from the thigh down to the ankle. He says it's very sore, but he's counting on his adrenaline and competitive edge to keep him in the game. So I'll check on him throughout the game.
All right, Jill, thank you. Just a terrific September afternoon, 66 degrees, humidity at 45%, the wind southwest to 15 miles per hour, and a forecast of continued severe clear. Only the 8th time that these two teams have met. Virginia Tech has won the last 4 in succession, including a 38-14 victory last year that secured a berth in the national championship game for them against Florida State. Michael Vick, redshirt sophomore out of Newport News, Virginia. Last time these two teams played here, he was in uniform, but in the midst of a redshirt season. And Frank Beamer telling us yesterday it was tempting to use him because they had to go with Nick Sorensen as their starting quarterback in that game, who is normally a defensive back. Andre Kendrick is back to return it. His long of the season is 28 yards. Scortino kicks off and sails it through the end zone. It'll come out to the 20, touchback. And so Michael Vick, in his second season as a starter.
You know, the scary part about it is that Superman is a better quarterback this year than he was last year. He has really worked to improve his game, and they're giving him a lot more responsibility with the running game at the line of scrimmage. He is a guy who is trying to get better week in and week out.
Tech will open with the I formation, 2 wideouts and 1 tight end who is tight to the left side. Play fake, Vick rolling left, drills it a little high, but caught. Nope, out of bounds. Intended for Andre Davis, but he could not come down inbound. Let's check the Tech offense. Offensive line, and it is a veteran one. Lambeau, Lair, Redding, and Cadella, second-year starters, all of them. DeMassey is in his first year as a starter in the center. Lee Suggs, Jarret Ferguson, Andre Davis, Emmett Johnson, and the tight end is Browning Wynn. Again, backs in the eye. Vick with a play fake. Blitz coming. Willie Poole. And Vick, as he does so often, dodges it. And now the race is on. Poole got there, number 13. But Vick eludes him easily.
Well, this is what makes Michael Vick a nightmare for defensive coaches. Even when the perfect call is made, this case a corner blitz, Michael Vick has no idea the blitz is coming. And yet he still has the presence and the ability, the elusiveness to avoid the sack and then turn it into a big gain. Even when you have the right call made at the right time, it doesn't mean anything with Michael Vick.
And on his first running effort of the afternoon, a gain of 30. First down and 10 at the 50-yard line. This time the toss to Lee Suggs into the secondary. That's a gain of 7. Suggs, who had 4 touchdowns in the last outing for Virginia Tech, a 49-0 romp over Rutgers. Tackle made by Steve Martin, number 55. Let's check this Eagle defense. Up front, it's Guthrie, Martin, Levitt, and Miserelli. The problems are in the linebacking core, where Ryan Birch and Scott Bradley are out with injuries. Marco Williams gets the start in the middle. Martin and Curtis Bolden. Poole, Johnson, Parent, and Jonathan Ordway in the secondary. 2nd and 3. Same set, I formation. Here comes the blitz. Quick setup. And Vick drills it out in the left flat, and the pass is caught for the first down at the 37-yard line by Emmett Johnson in front of Willie Poole.
Michael Vick very comfortable in the pocket. Again, he is maturing into the quarterback position, and you can see it whether you watch film or watching him today. Just his comfort level with the offense, with what he's doing, with reading defenses. You know, you got to remember, he is still a young quarterback. Yeah, he's incredibly talented, but still a young quarterback who is really growing into the position from the mental aspect.
And that is good for a 1st and 10, Virginia Tech. Frank Beamer in his 14th season, of course, the first graduate of Tech to serve as head coach, and he is now the all-time winningest coach in Tech history. Graduated from Tech in 1969. 1st and 10, no score, opening moments, option play. Vick cuts inside, breaks a tackle, and dives down to the 32-yard line. Steve Martin and Willie Poole. Well, how effective is he? His average yard per play, 9.1.
Yeah, he's amazing. And the he plays within the confines of this offense. You've got to remember, this is a run-oriented offense. They line up in the I formation and run it 70% of the time. And he waits and is patient and waits for his chance to make plays. And when he does, they're usually something very special.
Now we'll see the spread for the first time. And the blitz from Boston College. There's Vick. Dodges one, dodges two, got him 3 times a charm. Safety blitz, and this time Vick cannot avoid the tackle. Ralph Parent, number 24.
Well, they brought linebackers and they brought safeties. Here's Parent. The linebackers coming, the safeties coming. They outnumbered Virginia Tech on this pass rush. And even if the first guy doesn't get him, stay with the play, keep hustling, stay after it. Nice job by Ralph Parent. He missed the sack initially, came back and got it on the second effort.
Here's an interesting matchup. Tech for the season, converting third down 63% of the time. Boston College defending the third down, allowing only 21% conversion. The odds favor Tech and Michael Vick, and they convert.
Boston College came with the same blitz that time, but Virginia Tech ready for it and protected it, gave Michael Vick time to get the one-on-one matchup and make the completion. Exact same blitz that time by Boston College, this time picked up well by the Hokies.
Tom O'Brien in his 4th season, Naval Academy graduate of 1971. Served on the academy staff with George Welsh, then an assistant at Virginia for 15 years, came here in 1996. His record at BC in a rebuilding sequence of years is now 18 and 19. First down and 10. Here's Vick up the middle. Watch out. Stopped at the 20. That'll bring up a second down.
If you wondered what Frank Spaziani's plan defensively was going to be for the Eagles coming in today, so far in this first drive, 5 blitzes by the Boston College defense. They are determined to try to get after Michael Vick and to harass him and to force him into some mistakes.
There's Frank Spaziani. In his 4th year as the defensive coordinator here, a Jersey guy. Second down. They hand it off to Suggs. Quick opener up the middle. First and goal, Tech at the 6. Marco Williams and Ralph Parent got back to make the tackle, but not before Lee Suggs picks up 14.
Great blocking up front. Watch right guard Josh Redding pull around here and get the lead block. Does a nice job coming across, leading up into the hole. Lee Suggs following up there. Great speed, Lee Suggs. Now, Virginia Tech has 3 guys that run under 4.3 in the 40-yard dash. Michael Vick is one, Andre Davis, the wide receiver, the other, and Lee Suggs, the tailback, the 3rd guy. Great speed on this Hokie offense.
And they'll go with a power out. That is Wayne Briggs, a blocking back. Quick opener to Jarret Ferguson, the starting fullback. And he picks up 2, splitting that block between Josh Redding and Steve DeMassey.
This offensive line for Virginia Tech is a little unique in college football today. They're not overly big. Only one guy over 290 pounds. That's the right guard, Josh Redding. But they're very athletic. Probably the most athletic group that they've had in a long time. And that allows them to pull and do some things a little differently this year.
Again, the power set. Briggs in motion. Michael Vick, the handoff to Andre Kendrick, the backup tailback. And Kendrick, number 4, tackled at the 1-yard line. We talked about this very experienced offensive line for Virginia Tech.
Yeah, you look at the 2 guards and the 2 tackles, great experience. Now, DeMassey was the 3rd-team center last year. He had 2 seniors ahead of him, but he actually started a couple critical games against Syracuse and Pittsburgh, so he's been in the mix well enough to fit right in.
Got a foot away on 3rd down. 13th play of the drive. Suggs is back in as the deep back. They hand it to the fullback, and Jarret Ferguson plunges in for the first touchdown of the day.
A very methodical, well-executed drive for Virginia Tech on the road, mixing the run and pass, converting 3rd downs, and then just power football to the fullback. And Frank Beamer knows that's the way to start a football game.
Now Carter Worley on for the extra point. And the kick is up, and it is good. Well, this is a very potent offensive machine, Virginia Tech. They go 13 plays to open the encounter and jump on Boston College by 7. Welcome back to Alumni Stadium on the campus of Boston College. 80-yard drive to open the game for Virginia Tech. 2 highlights offensively, a 30-yard scamper by Michael Vick, and then a 14-yard pass on 3rd and 11, Vick to Emmett Johnson.
Yeah, and vintage Michael Vick, they had him dead to rights. He turned it into a big play.
Here is a short kick and a fair catch taken at the 37.5-yard line by J.D. Sutcliffe, which gives me a chance to get this one in unexpectedly and early. He's a grandson of Arthur Godfrey.
There you go.
Tim Hasselbeck is the quarterback. Jill Arrington telling you he's got a very tough, bruised right knee. So he's not going to be 100%.
But he is a ferocious competitor, Vern, and the Boston College coaches counting on that adrenaline, counting on that competitiveness. They can't hide him in this game. They need him to win. They need him to play well.
Cedric Washington is the only setback. Hasselbeck on the draw play. They've got some room, and Washington tries to bounce off the initial contact. He is stopped at the 42-yard line by Willie Pyle, number 35. Now let's check this Boston College front line. It's Cook, LeCaire, Copen. Zakauskas is the most notable of this bunch. Mark Colombo at right tackle completes the offensive line. Cedric Washington, Ryan Utzler in the backfield. DeWalt had a big game last week against Navy, 2 touchdowns. Robert Ellis, the tight end, and Jamal Burke is the other wide receiver. Now 2 men. No, it's Hasselbeck in the shotgun, and we've got some motion in the offensive line.
Boston College really needs to try to avoid these kind of things too. 123 yards and penalties last week in the big win over Navy.
False start offense, 5 yards, remains 2nd down.
You're going to have enough trouble sustaining things against this aggressive Hokie defense. And you can't afford to give up yardage. You had a 2nd and 5, and now you're back 2nd and long yardage again. As you look at that, 30 penalties, already most in the Big East.
And 11 of those came in that win over Navy last week. Bud Foster, the defensive coordinator, longtime assistant to Frank Beamer, first at Murray State, where he played collegiately, and then at Virginia Tech. We may have a motion call on the right side.
Dead ball, false start. Offense, 5 yards, still 2nd down.
You see Tim Hasselbeck now trying to keep everything together. Now, one of his greatest strengths is his presence in the huddle. I mean, he is a great leader for this football team, and he's got to calm everybody down right now. Everybody's excited to play the number 4 team in the country. Adrenaline is pumping for all the Eagles, but they've got to calm down and take care of business with their offense.
John Smith is our referee from the Big East, and he's call time, and I think it's a clock problem. Now, he's indicated on the PA the nature of the difficulty, but I'm not sure what it was. The clock has been reset to 8:31, and now it starts. And Boston College will go out of the spread. Utzler, the fullback, is wide to the right side, top of the screen. Hasselbeck drops back 5 yards. Looking left all the way, drills it, incomplete for DeWalt. Roniel Whitaker makes the stop, and let's check the Virginia Tech defense. Cobb, Beasley, Pugh, and Adibi up front. And the linebackers Summers, Housewright, and Ben Taylor was the leading tackler on this team through 3 games. And in the secondary, Larry Austin, Willie Pyle, Corey Bird, and Roniel Whitaker, who made the last play. 3rd and 16. See what Tech has in mind defensively. They will blitz. Coming Taylor from the corner, Hasselbeck deep right side, single coverage, and it's overthrown. The coverage provided by Larry Austin on Jamal Burke.
Larry Austin has great speed, probably the fastest of the defensive backs for Virginia Tech. Sometimes he leans on that speed a little too much, but this time in perfect position as he looked back to try to find the football. No room for Jamal Burke.
And a brand new punt snapper, a long snapper. It's Josh Survey. Ryan Birch, who normally does that, the injured linebacker, is out. And of course, Tech specializes in blocking punts and field goals. Here's the punt. McKyler, no fair catch called. Andre Davis, who has one of 87 yards this year, and the race is on. No flags, touchdown Tech. 61 yards, his second of the season.
Vern, so often teams playing Virginia Tech are so concerned about the reputation of their punt blocking ability that they sometimes forget about the rest of the punt coverage. The kicker's in a hurry. He doesn't get the right kind of hang time. The blockers are too busy trying to worry about not getting it blocked. They don't cover quick enough. And Andre Davis, who already returned one against East Carolina to break that game open, is on his way to breaking this one open. Great speed. We mentioned the 3 speedsters on this Virginia Tech offensive football team.
Carter Worley's extra point is up and through. Well, a near perfect start for Virginia Tech. An 81-yard drive followed by a 71-yard punt return for a TD. Second punt return for a touchdown this season for Andre Davis. And this doesn't augur well for Boston College.
No, it sure doesn't. They are getting out quickly on everybody, and tough defense to play catch up on.
William Green, the deep man. Here is Warley's kick, and Green will take it at the 2. It's DeJuan Daniels, not Willie Green, number 32 instead of 2. And DeJuan Daniels gets it out to the 32-yard line. A 30-yard return. Well, be sure to join us tomorrow for the NFL on CBS. It'll be regional action. Game 1, San Diego at St. Louis, Pittsburgh, Jacksonville, Indianapolis, Buffalo, Baltimore, Cleveland, and then a 4:05 Eastern start. The Patriots go into Mile High to take on Denver. It all begins with the NFL Today at 12 noon Eastern time tomorrow on CBS. Now here's Tim Hasselback. He's got DeWalt and Jamal Burke as his wide receivers. And he'll open with an I set this time. Washington coming left. Has room. Breaks a tackle across the 50. First down. Boston College on the 20-yard run.
Nice vision by Cedric Washington. Watch him start this way and then break it back to the left. Nice job of seeing and feeling the defense. Corey Bird on a safety blitz. That's Corey Bird coming in. He's guarding against the bootleg, and Cedric Washington ran right inside of that safety blitz. Good vision by Washington.
And there is an injured player down for Virginia Tech. Larry Austin, the cornerback, number 24, junior out of Norfolk, Virginia.
You know, Vern, we talked about this game, and one of the real keys for Boston College to have a chance, we talked about their offensive line needing to establish things, and they could not afford to get beat in the special teams. They had to at least play even in the special teams. Already they're in a 2-touchdown hole because of that special teams, the big punt return by Andre Davis.
Well, they do have a bit of encouragement now with a first down at the 49-yard line. Garnell Wilds, number 17, has taken Austin's place. There's the handoff to Washington. Nothing there. Tries right tackle and gets nothing but the effort of Corey Bird, number 16, who might be the best defender for Virginia Tech.
He's an excellent football player. He had 3 sacks, quarterback sacks, in the game last year in Blacksburg. He's a very aggressive kid playing the strong safety position, 3-year starter.
Second down and 9. DeWalt goes wide to the right side. Washington now split in the slot to the left.
Have to throw.
And the blitz coming. Hasselback lets it go. It's complete. Short of the first down to Dedrick DeWalt at the 41-yard line. Ben Taylor coming.
It's a numbers game as much as anything, Vern, when you play Virginia Tech. If you spread them out, if they put all these defenders in here, you have to throw against one-on-one. If they want to spread out and play pass defense, then you can run. But if they have that many defenders in around the tackle box, you must throw the football and make plays against one-on-one.
Third down 1. Washington, the deep back behind Utzler. Hasselback, play action. Goes right side for his tight end. Caught, first down. He caught Mike Guazzo, number 80, 1st and 10, Boston College. Gain of 19.
And a good call that time by Dana Bible, going after the new cornerback in the game, Garnell Wilds, the new guy in for Larry Austin. They went right after him with the big tight end. That's a mismatch in size. Guazzo at 6'4", 254, and a huge completion for Tim Hasselbeck.
Washington now the only setback, double tight end. Draw play, Washington coming left. Puts his head down and picks up an additional 2 yards as he hit Willie Pyle, and the pile moved north.
And the pile is moving thanks to that Boston College offensive line on this drive as well. They're getting some good movement up front, and again, that is the strength of this BC football team, their offensive line. If they have any favorable matchup in the game, it's their offensive line against the Hokie defensive front.
2nd down and 3. They give it off to Washington. He's got a blocker in front to the 5. Touchdown, Boston College. Jake Houseright had a shot at him, but Washington broke the tackle.
They ran behind that big offensive line, and particularly their stud right guard, Paul Zukauskas, leading the way. Number 66 gets out in front of Washington, and a nice touchdown drive. A good responder by the Boston College Eagles.
New holder now. Brian St. Pierre will hold because of the knee injury to Hasselbeck. But the snap back by Josh Survey was good. He's the new snapper today. And the hold was good as well.
Very important drive for Boston College, staying in the game early.
Boston College goes 68 yards in 6 plays, largely on the feet of Cedric Washington. He scampers 15 for the first BC touchdown. And here is Scortino's kick. Kendrick just back 6 yards deep, 5, and will drop to his knee. Touchback. Test your sports knowledge. To play Aflac Trivia, log on to cbs.sportsline.com or America Online, keyword CBS Sportsline.
It was interesting talking to Frank Spaziani yesterday, defensive coordinator for Boston College. He said, we're moving so many new people in there. One of our mottos here is, if you think you stink, we've got to keep it simple and let these guys play as fast and as hard as they can.
First down, Kendrick is the deep back, and Cullen Hawkins is in the game at fullback. Here's Vick, pulls up, lets it go deep, left side. Davis overthrown by about 3 yards. Pretty good coverage.
Pretty good coverage, and another blitz. And again, the early philosophy of the Boston College defense is try to pressure Michael Vick. If you blitz, that means you're going to play a lot of man-to-man coverage, and this time Davis has a step on his defender, but the ball a little bit overthrown by Michael Vick.
Now, let me amend what I said. Not so sure how good that coverage was.
He was in the vicinity.
Yes, Mr. Rogers' neighborhood.
Yeah.
14-7, 2nd and 10. And again, Kendrick is the deep back in the eye.
Movement. Tight end move, Bob Slokowski at the top of the formation.
Dead ball, false start, offense, out yard penalty, 2nd down.
No, 5 yards, Slokowski with the movement. Boston College, again, they lost Ryan Birch and Scott Bradley to injuries last week. Anthony Garay, their defensive tackle who was scheduled to start the season, injured on the first play of the game against West Virginia. He may or may not be back.
That's a week-to-week thing. Of course, they lost Frank Chamberlain and Chris Hovan off that defensive front last year. 2 outstanding football players.
2nd and 15 at the 15. Boston College will blitz again. Option play. Vick bobbled by Kendrick. One hopper right back up in his midsection. A fortuitous bounce. 11-yard gain.
Those bounces are only supposed to happen in Blacksburg for Virginia Tech, not here at Boston College. But good pressure on the option by Boston College. Forced a bad pitch. That was not a good pitch by Michael Vick. And an alert recovery by Andre Kendrick just to field this football. The pitch was high and behind him, and Kendrick stayed right with the football.
3rd and 4, Virginia Tech. They're up by 7. with 4:20 to go, first quarter.
Let's look again.
They hand it off to Kendrick, and he is stopped. Doug Goodwin, number 61, a true freshman from Freeport, New York, who is playing in place of the injured Garay.
Real nice play by the true freshman Goodwin. You see the quickness coming off the football. Does a real nice job. Here he is right over the nose. Watch the quickness. Chasing it down from the backside. Excellent explosion and quickness by the freshman from Freeport, New York.
Robert Peasley is the left-footed punter for Virginia Tech. Is going to punt for only the 13th time this season. And Dedrick DeWalt waits for it. Has it at the 33. Pretty good downfield coverage by Browning Wynn. A 39-yard punt, 6 on the return. Now, Florida playing Mississippi State. Let's get an update from Tim Brando.
Vern, the visor's off, and the backup quarterback is in. Jesse Palmer here is sacked by Willie Blades. That makes it 5-0. Brock Berlin, who was a third-teamer when you had the Tennessee game, he's now the starter.
Well, the odds were the visor was going to go today, but Brock Berlin, the freshman.
Yeah, what a chess match there between Spurrier's offense and Joe Lee Dunn's defense. That is quite a thing to watch there.
William Green in at running back, number 1. And he bursts over left guard across the 45 and out to the 47-yard line. 8-yard gain for William Green.
Nice changeup. Both of these backs are very, very talented. Cedric Washington is the guy. He's the senior, the starter. But William Green, the sophomore out of Atlantic City, New Jersey, one of the most heralded recruits ever to come to Boston College in recent years. And he provides a nice change of pace for Cedric Washington.
2nd down, 2. Waning moments, first quarter. Green starts to the right, tries to cut back in a good defensive pursuit, but not before he picked up the first down. Jim Davis, number 95, the freshman from Highland Springs, Virginia, makes the tackle.
Virginia Tech is still an excellent football team, and they're still going to be a good defensive football team, but they are not the same as they were a year ago. They lost some key players off of that defense, great seniors, and right now Boston College doing a nice job with their offensive line.
1st and 10, Hasselback with time, has to scramble. Again, keep in mind that injured right knee. And Hasselback gets to the 44-yard line. And let's check in with Jill Arrington.
Well, we see Boston College has an imposing running game. Cedric Washington and sophomore William Green is their 1-2 tandem. Cedric calls him the Ferrari and the bulldozer. Now he's the speed and Green's the grinder. Pretty good combination.
Yeah, Jill, I'm guessing if Cedric came up with that, he's not going to be the bulldozer.
That's right. I bet if you asked William, he'd be the Ferrari.
2nd and 4, high formation. Green, quick opener, another first down, Boston College.
It all starts up front, possessing the football. And you got to remember now, when you consider who Virginia Tech has played, Akron, East Carolina, Rutgers, they have not really been challenged physically up front the way they're getting challenged today by Boston College. Again, good push up front by this big, experienced offensive line of Boston College. And the key is, if they can make them come in and defend the run, then they've got to hit some plays throwing the football.
Draw play. Green tries to skip to the outside. This time, excellent defensive pursuit by Billy Hardy, number 25. And Jim Davis, number 95. They both got out there, no gain.
And that one, when William Green comes to the sideline next time, Dana Bible and Tom O'Brien will say, look, you cannot run east and west against this defense. They're not as big and as physical, but they can really run. You've got to attack these guys north and south if you want to make yardage running the football.
Dana Bible, the offensive coordinator. Here's Bud Foster, the defensive coordinator for the Hokies. 2nd down, 11. They'll try Green right side again. And a nice defensive job over there by Jake Housewright, number 41, and then Hardy, the supplemental help.
Take a look at the inexperience up front. Chad Beasley has the most starts. He started a couple games last year. They had to replace their top 4 defensive ends. And in this defense, defensive end is the disruptive position, the marquee position. Their top 4 guys graduated last year. So playing with really new talent in Nathaniel Adibi and Lamar Cobb.
3rd and 9. Boston College trailing by 7. Virginia Tech will blitz. Hasselback, good production. Nice throw, first down. He found Jamal Burke, number 84, in front of Billy Hardy, number 25. Keep in mind, that's where Larry Austin is on the bench with an injury.
That's right. Garnell Wilds was in the game earlier. Now Billy Hardy. Again, it's single coverage. You've got to be able to make completions against single coverage. Good timing and a nice place for the football that time by Tim Hasselback. Another impressive drive for Boston College. Run the football, knock them back, and that sets up some one-on-one situations in the passing game.
Hasselback with a career game last week, 355, play fake. Nice job of faking it. Buys time, goes deep, good coverage, and the pass is out of the end zone, incomplete. Intended for DeJuan Daniels, number 32.
Good discipline that time by Virginia Tech. You mentioned it. They didn't buy the play fake. It was a good fake by Hasselbeck, but very nice discipline by the Hokie defense.
And that's the end of the first quarter with our score 14-7, Virginia Tech. We'll return to Alumni Stadium right after this message and a word from your local station.
Part Street Fighter, part Jet Fighter. The new 210 horsepower, supercharged Nissan Frontier.
Julia Roberts, Denzel Washington, an unforgettable thriller, The Pelican Brief, CBS tonight.
Arby's 5 for $5.95 mix and match deal. Any combination of 5 regular roast beefs or beef and cheddars for just $5.95. You don't see a deal like this every day.
Buying an appliance has never been easier. And finding that appliance at a great price is easy too. Because Austin's Maytag on Williamson Road has the full line of Maytag and Jen Air. Let Tom, Cody, and Jody show you what's new for your kitchen or laundry. Of course, you get free delivery and setup. And everything is backed by factory-trained service technicians. Make it easy on yourself here at Austin's Maytag, Williamson Road, just south of Hirschberger.
I thought my numbers were impressive. Our economical ambassador paint service is only $189. Mako is good, fast, and a great value. It's Mako for makeovers. Call 1-888-MAKO-USA.
You can win a pair of tickets to see the Hokies play in Lane Stadium. Your hometown station will give away a pair of tickets to upcoming Virginia Tech home game. To enter, just send us your name, address, and daytime phone number to this address, or send us an email at wdbj7.com. We'll continue to announce winners during Friday Football Extra. Will your name be chosen this week? Send your entries in today and register to win free Tech tickets from your hometown station, WDBJ7.
We're the Ward family from Lynchburg. Check out our Family Feud experience Monday at 4 on your hometown station.
Welcome back to the campus of Boston College, that the Chestnut Hill Reservoir, and BC located about 8 miles from downtown Boston. We begin the second quarter, 14-7, and a second down and 10. Hasselback and the Eagles inside the 30. And he will throw on second down, little crossing pattern underneath. In a 14-7 game, and things have really kind of gone BC's way, Tom.
Tom O'Brien has to be thrilled, with the exception of the punt return given up to Andre Davis. They've averaged over 6 yards per carry running the football, able to set up their play-action passing game. Things going very well for Boston College right now, staying in the football game.
This the second sustained drive for BC. Tom O'Brien, as we said, a graduate of the Naval Academy in 1971. Longtime assistant to George Welsh. And they will measure, not quite enough for the first down. O'Brien took over for Dan Henning as the head coach here, 18-19, but an 8-4 record last year. And he kind of implied to us that they did it with mirrors almost.
Yeah. Well, they won 8, and yeah, there were some real close ones in there. But a lot of times, Vern, with college football teams, high school football teams, you get on a roll, you win a couple games in a row, you start believing in yourself, you start playing maybe a little bit better than your talent would suggest. And I think that happened to BC last year. They got on a little bit of a roll, they believed in themselves, and they found ways to win football games.
3rd and 1. William Green is the only setback. Quarterback sneak for Hasselbeck. And he appears to have enough to move the chain. Tim Hasselbeck, of course, comes in with decided genetic advantage. His dad, Don, longtime player with the New England Patriots, a graduate of Colorado, and his older brother, Matt Hasselbeck, is now the backup quarterback with the Green Bay Packers.
I talked to Tim this morning. They stayed at our same hotel, and early in the morning he was heading over to the campus to get some treatment on that knee, and there was nothing that was going to keep him out of this football game. He is a great competitor.
Draw play. Washington dancing in the backfield, gets inside the 10 and is tackled at the 8-yard line. Corey Bird, number 16, finally hauled him down with help from number 35, Willie Pyle.
This is all Cedric Washington. This play should have been stopped for about a 3-yard loss. Watch Washington just juke and buy some time and then find a crease and hit it. He was dead to rights in the backfield and did a nice job of just getting it upfield and turning in a nice game.
2nd and 1. It is not a first down. And the handoff deep. Coming right, Washington. Now he's got the 1st and goal. Out of bounds just inside the 7, perhaps the 6-yard line. Sixteenth trip inside the red zone thus far this year, and they have scored 10 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's the good thing. You know, not having to settle for field goals, scoring touchdowns when you get in there.
First and goal. Play fake. Hasselbeck in trouble. Does get rid of it. As Lamar Cobb was right there in his face, number 28.
One of the ways you try to take advantage of a fast and aggressive defense is you try to run bootlegs and hope that this guy here doesn't play the reverse. But Lamar Cobb stays at home, disciplined. He reads the bootleg. He's right there to disrupt the timing and the throw. And Hasselbeck, a nice job just getting rid of the football, avoiding the sack. But good discipline by a young defensive end, Lamar Cobb, staying at home.
14th play of the drive. 2nd down and goal. Burke in the slot to the left side. Guazo, the tight end, is tight right. And Ryan Reed is also on the field. They drill it. It is caught. Touchdown. Jamal Burke.
This is excellent timing by Hasselbeck to Burke. It's a timing route, the out route to the slot receiver. It's down low and away from the defender. Looked like his knee was down before the ball got to the plane. Called a touchdown anyway.
Mike Sutphin to tie it up. How about that? Tom O'Brien, most appreciative of the effort of the Eagles of Boston College. Boston College yell squad hopeful that the Eagles win, but hopeful they don't score 49.
Well, they are doing what they need to do. I mean, they are controlling the ball and keeping Michael Vick on the bench.
Scortino kickoff, short, and a fair catch called and taken at the 18-yard line.
Let's go back to the touchdown. Now, from this angle, it's going to look like Jamal Burke catches the ball and reaches it across the goal line before his knee touches the ground. Take a look right here. Here comes the ball across the plane. Looks like a touchdown. But From a closer angle, watch his knee now. He catches the ball. The right knee is going to touch the ground, and then the reach across for the goal line. A tough call, a quick call for the officials. I know Timmy and Spencer are going to be going crazy back in the studio. They've been on the officials all year this year, but that was a tough one to make right at the goal line.
And a momentary stoppage, maybe a problem with the chain on the far side. Now they have it set at the 19-yard line, and Michael Vick and the Hokies of Virginia Tech with 2 quick touchdowns within the space or the time of 1 minute and 41 seconds. They jumped out 14-0, now tied 14-all. Ferguson, the fullback, play fake, reverse, Andre Davis goes right, tries to get a block from Browning Wynn. And it looked like it might yield a lot of yardage, but a good defensive pursuit by Boston College. 2nd down and 3. Well, here's the half-flat trivia question. Frank Beamer in his 14th season as head coach at Tech. What coach holds the longest active tenure at one school? Gosh. Gee, I wonder. Might you know that?
I might have an idea on that.
2nd down and 3. Suggs knocked down. No gain. 3rd and 3. Now we'll have the answer for those of you who remain in doubt a little later on. Boston College lost their season opener on the road to West Virginia 34-14. And they played 2 of the academies. They went up to West Point and won big. And then they won at home last week. Big win over Navy. Now Cullen Hawkins is in the backfield and out of the shotgun on 3rd down and 3.
Blitz again.
Blitz. Yeah, may have come too quickly. Goodwin might have jumped.
Dead ball, false start,
Left tackle Anthony Lambeau is the guy that it looked like moved, or Matt Lair. Watch this side of the formation. Boston College trying to time that blitz and hit it on the move. Tough to see there. Goodwin was certainly the first guy to move. But now a more difficult 3rd down situation. Let's see if Spaziani calls a blitz again now on 3rd and 10.
Yes, he does. Here they come. Vick rolling out. Being chased, finds a man open. That's Emmett Johnson. He's got the 1st down at the 33-yard line. So the 2nd, 3rd, and long conversion. Michael Vick to Emmett Johnson.
And a nice call by Ricky Bussell this time, anticipating another blitz, a little change of pace. Let's move the pocket. This was not a designed or an unintentional scramble. This was designed to get Michael Vick out away from the pressure, bring the protection out with him, get him on the corner, let him throw away from the blitz. Nice call by Ricky Bussell against the blitz. There's Ricky right there, offensive coordinator.
Gain of 13, 1st and 10, Virginia Tech 14-14. And off to Suggs, breaks a tackle, breaks another. And a quick gallop out to the 46-yard line. That's his 2nd 13-yard pickup in as many plays. Derek Rossi and Josh Ott, a couple of 2nd-line defenders making the tackle.
Lee Suggs is having an outstanding early season for Virginia Tech, the sophomore out of Roanoke. You know, he was going to be the backup last year, and he broke his hand in the spring and kind of fell behind Andre Kendrick, but he took over this spring, and Lee Suggs again possesses that great speed. 4.27 in the 40-yard dash. Had his first 100-yard game earlier in the year against East Carolina.
And again, John Smith chatting with Tom O'Brien. I'm wondering if we're having difficulty with a clock. John Smith asking for a telephone.
Well, this is one way to slow Michael Vick down and Lee Suggs and Andre Davis. Get the official on the telephone.
Yeah, we'll get Spencer and Timmy B on this one They'll suggest that he's asking for replay. Maybe might be chatting with her.
What do you think?
No. I've got a 9 o'clock flight. And while we wait, let's check in with Jill Arrington.
I have an update on Larry Austin. He has a sprained left knee. They put a brace on it. He ran around on it, still not feeling good. He is now out for the game. It's possible cartilage damage. They'll reevaluate him after the game.
All right, Jill, thank you. Well, the conversation has been concluded. I bet we're not going to be privy to this. We'll see. Okay, let's see what John Smith has to say.
No, you know what it is, Vern? I heard this. Before the handoff to Lee Suggs, somebody in the stands blew a whistle, and nothing stopped play. And I think what they're calling for is whoever it is in the stands that has the whistle to give it up. But there was a distinct whistle sound while that play was in progress. I don't think it was that. That doesn't look like a whistle. I don't think they're going to throw him out of the game.
No.
But there was a whistle sound. I did hear that.
First down and 10. Vick option. Lee Suggs. Nice defensive play by Sean Guthrie, number 99.
When you defend the option, you have to defend the back first, then the quarterback, and then the pitchman. You have to be very disciplined against defending the option. That time, well done by Boston College. Watch, you got to defend the quarterback. There's the stop on him, and then good pursuit by Boston College, keeping everything hemmed in. Sean Guthrie did a nice job of keeping leverage on Lee Suggs.
From the 45, second down and 11. Shotgun formation. Spaziani calls the blitz again. Vick behind his intended receiver, the tight end, Browning Wynn. Only 3 catches for the season, not an integral part of the passing play.
Let's go back to this play when they stopped play and see if we can hear the whistle that they were concerned about.
Yeah, you could hear it clearly. Starting with the beat. Now, how do you find the culprit and silence him? Difficult, huh? Unless people turn the point. 3rd and 11. Virginia Tech is 3 of 4 on 3rd downs. 2 of them have been in excess of 10 yards. Here's Vick. Lot of time. Oh, boy. Not to do, but to marvel at it. 32 yards.
Vern, Michael Vick grabbing his right knee at the end of the play. He's up again. A little scary, but what a phenomenal athlete this guy is. I mean, again, you can have the perfect defense called, but if Michael Vick sees some space, he's going to take off and he's going to kill you. Now, he's got good protection here, but as he starts to scramble, watch, there's 3 guys right there, Boston College, no chance of making a tackle on it. And at the end of the play, Michael Vick just downfield and got up hobbling a little bit because of his knee.
And he has called timeout, and he has limped to the Virginia Tech bench.
Again, the speed, the elusiveness, the balance. Can't really see what he did. Maybe he took a helmet right there as he tried to leap over a defender. Might have got a helmet right on the leg.
It is his left knee.
There it is. That's right there.
So Michael Vick getting very serious medical attention. Concentration seen on everybody's brow. We'll return in a moment. Yes. Michael Vick called timeout, got the medical attention, then got up, and because he called timeout, he is eligible to stay on the field, and he's there. Double tight end set. Vick back and dropped. Is there a fumble? If so, it occurred after Vick was down.
You see Michael Vick pointing to himself. He went the wrong way on that play, maybe still thinking about the knee injury. Watch the end of this play right there. You see just a helmet and shoulder pads combining. And one thing about it, a lot of these Virginia Tech guys have the high pants and the knee pad not really covering the actual knee of Michael Vick, and therefore able to take a direct hit. There's the end of the play. Jarret Ferguson falling on the loose football for Virginia Tech.
Here's the toss on 2nd and 11. Suggs, he's got blazing speed. He's got a touchdown. Lee Suggs, 24 yards. Tech back on top.
Vern, this is a real gut check for the Virginia Tech offense because their quarterback, their leader, a little bit banged up on this drive. They say, hey, we'll take a little pressure off you, Michael. Give it to Lee Suggs. Let the offensive line and the fullback do the work. Great block by Jarret Ferguson out in front. Andre Davis downfield getting a block and a big touchdown for the Hokies.
Carter Worley's extra point is up, and it knifes through. Pretty nifty run. Lee Suggs from 24 yards away. Hokies back on top by 7. All right, Tim, Willie the Wildcat probably doing backflips as Northwestern wins again. Lee Suggs from 24 yards out puts Virginia Tech back on top. DeJuan Daniels, 3 yards in, thinks about it, decides to bring it out. And he moves it to the 24-yard line. Let's go back and take a look at the touchdown.
Vern, you're going to see some great execution by Virginia Tech. The left tackle, Anthony Lambo, the tight end. Great block here. The fullback, and then outside, Andre Davis. Watch these blocks now as this play develops. There's one block. There's two. There's three. And then downfield, you're going to see Andre Davis with another block helping out on the outside right there. Excellent execution and blocking by Virginia Tech. Anthony Lambo, the fullback, Browning Wynn, Jarret Ferguson, the fullback, and Andre Davis.
Had a flag on the kickoff, and so we've got a re-kick offside against Virginia Tech. Suggs, a 24-yard run, 3 for 36 now in this game. As we told you, 4 touchdowns in the last outing for Virginia Tech. They've had kind of a goofy season. Their opening game against Virginia Tech canceled because of lightning. Then they played Akron. 5 days later, they played East Carolina. Then they've had 9 days off to play Rutgers and then a week off. So it's been 14 days since they last played. Worley will re-kick it.
Doesn't look like the layoff has hurt their offense.
No, it is not at all. And DeJuan Daniels now moves up near the 10-yard line as we get the re-kick from Worley. William Green is also back in case it heads his direction. 21-14 on this glorious Saturday afternoon, Boston, Massachusetts. Nice kick. Wow.
Better kick.
Mississippi State and Florida. How's it going? Let's check in with Tim Brando.
Vern and Todd, I have the answer, and it's a little Powell football. A pitch to DeCenzo Miller. 44 yards later, it's 13-0 Mississippi State. In case you were wondering, Todd, Jesse Palmer's back in, but he's 3 out of 10 for just 43 yards.
A lot of problems with that Florida defense. We've seen them a couple times already, and they have had trouble rushing the passer, and this is a physical Mississippi State team they're playing up against today.
Part of the game plan for Boston College is to have Brian St. Pierre come in for a series in the second quarter. He is in at quarterback right now. So this is not a manifestation of the injury to Tim Hasselback. St. Pierre usually plays the opening series of the second quarter.
And it's a little different in some cases. With some teams, they want to do that, but they make that decision based on the situation. Here, Dana Bible says, regardless of the situation, if we start on the 20, if we start inside our own 1, Brian St. Pierre is going to run that series.
2nd down and 8, 21-14.
And he got all the reps in practice on Thursday. Tim Hasselback did not practice Thursday, so St. Pierre ready to come in this ball game today.
Cedric Washington is in as well. Gets the deep handoff, and a couple of yards. That's going to leave 3rd and long. Well, I should let you just handle the Aflac question by yourself. Go solo here.
Well, he's off to a little slow start this year, but it has to be Joe Paterno.
How'd you know that?
34 years at Penn State.
Well, 4 of those years he had you there, right?
Yes, he did. Real honor to have been a part of his teams there and be the quarterback on his first national championship team as well.
3rd and 7. Virginia Tech 21, Boston College 14. Shotgun for St. Pierre. Into the flat. Tough catch. And Billy Hardy, number 25, makes the tackle on Ryan Hutzler. Time for the Exxon Virtual Playbook.
Well, in Hokie land, they call it their pride and joy. That is their punt block team, and they are excellent. In the game against Rutgers, their last time out, they found an overload situation. Eric Green came off the corner and got the block, and they are so good at it. They respond to the football. Watch Eric Green, the quickness, gets the football, and then the Hokies recover it. They score a lot of touchdowns that way as well.
Josh Servey, the new snapper. McKyler, here comes the pressure. Nice, high, but fairly short punt. And it does take a Boston College bounce.
But again, you see the panic that the threat of the block puts into snappers and punters. That was a high snap. The punter kind of rushed it. He got a fortunate bounce at the end, but it was not a really good punt.
Sometimes they're called the gobblers. Midway through quarter number 2, 21-14 Tech. They've got a first down and 10.
Critical defensive series for Boston College, and they need to be very careful here. Virginia Tech running 147 yards rushing. Watch out for play action and trying to go deep to Andre Davis very soon.
He is lined up wide left. Here comes the blitz again. Play fake. Vick looking the other direction. Now drills it down the middle. Dropped. Oh, boy. Slakowski all by himself at the 33-yard line.
They've been running the football so well, averaging over 8 yards per carry. A perfect throw by Michael Vick to the tight end Slakowski. He was too wide open. Not used to being in that wide open of a space down the middle of the defense. Couldn't make the catch.
Slakowski, the junior from Pittsburgh, will think about that one for a couple of hours after the game.
Played at Central Catholic High School, same high school that produced one Dan Marino.
2nd down and 10. Vick with the audible. Looks out at Andre Davis and Emmett Johnson. Spaziani has his troops blitzing again, but Vick with the option. Hurdle, watch out. No, he just electrifies the place. That's a first down on a 26-yard gain for Michael Vick, and we check in with Jill Eric.
On Michael Vick's injury, he just banged his knee hard on the turf, but they added a pad to protect that knee area, so he's back in, as you can see, and doing well. You know, Michael Vick went from total obscurity a year ago to a household name throughout the country today. He's a top candidate for this year's Heisman Trophy. People can't get enough of Mike Vick hype. He's a newspaper article, several magazine covers, and even his own website. I think he gets around 2,000 to 3,000 users a day visiting that site, with people emailing him questions. Back to you, Vern.
All right, Jill, thank you. First down and 10. Here's the reverse. It's faked, and they've got Cullen Hawkins deep left side. Hawkins was open, and Vick threw it behind him. Cullen Hawkins, senior from Pittsburgh. Vick a little exasperated.
And Michael Vick's kicking himself right now because he had a touchdown either way he wanted to go. He had a touchdown right here. He also had a touchdown with Hawkins coming out of the backfield. They faked the reverse to Andre Davis. The defense buys the fake on the reverse. Now he's got 2 touchdowns right here or right here. Can't make the connection, and you don't see Michael Vick miss many throws like that.
There's Cullen Hawkins. His dad, Scott, was a starting linebacker for Virginia Tech in the late 60s and is here today. Here's the toss with Hawkins leading the way, and Kendrick going right. Hawkins got a good block. Kendrick struggles and is out of bounds at the 22-yard line. Cullen Hawkins, you know, Todd, you hear about guys who have a choice, basketball or football or track. Cullen Hawkins, as a senior, had to make a choice when he was 16 years old. Did he want to concentrate on football or freestyle skiing?
Wow.
He met a buddy of mine named Mark Smalley when he was 12 years old at a camp in Mount Hood. and then later spent a lot of time in my hometown of Steamboat Springs, Colorado. I talked to Park this week, who was his coach. He said this kid could have been a world-class mogul skier. Not a common choice.
Wow, now he's knocking linebackers around.
Yeah, right. Here's Vick. Oh, my goodness. Sean Guthrie gave him a shot in the ribs from behind.
That may have been the most severe hit that Michael Vick has taken in his career at Virginia Tech. It came totally from the back. He had no idea it was coming. And there's no protection against this. Watch the hit that Michael Vick is going to take from Sean Guthrie from behind. My goodness, I think he knocked him right out of his shoe. There's a shoe. It wasn't Vick's, but they knocked the heck out of him on that play. And this is what you want to try to do with Michael Vick. It's a violent game, and you've got to do something to knock him off of his game.
Second down and 15, time call. This is the second timeout used by Virginia Tech.
The play clock was going down. Michael Vick a little confused. Good idea to call timeout. How many plays is Virginia Tech?
Well, remember the old game you used to play with movie projector? 21-14, 6:16 to go. Andre Davis breaks off wide to the right. Emmett Johnson is wide left. Second and 15.
Corner blitz.
Here they come again. Willie Poole. And this is a keeper all the way. Vick, watch out. No problem.
Frank Spaziani has to be beside himself. Sometimes it is not fair what Michael Vick can do. This is a perfect call. Willie Poole, the corner, is blitzing right into where the option is. He should have an unblocked shot at Michael Vick. Can't get to him, and then Michael Vick, just a little stutter step, and then the great speed to get outside. You run an option directly into a blitz, and you score a touchdown.
Extra point is up and good. A 26-yard run for Michael Vick. Andre Kendrick helped lead the way. Well, she obviously appreciates Michael Vick's talent. 9 for 112 yards on the ground for Michael Vick. And all of a sudden, a 2-touchdown Virginia Tech lead. Worley with the kick. DeJuan Daniels drifting back, and Worley plants his foot into it. It's another touchback. We go back and take a look at the Vick run.
And what I want you to see is Josh Redding, the right guard. He's the biggest and strongest of the offensive line. Watch him pull out in front of Michael Vick. And all you got to do is give him a little crease. He doesn't get a crushing block on the blitzing Willie Poole, but just enough to let Michael Vick slip inside, and then it's speed after that. Enough of a block by Josh Redding to get Michael Vick to the corner, and then it's see you later.
Michael Vick for the day, 32 yards passing, 112 on the ground.
Yeah, the numbers don't tell the whole story with him. He is way beyond numbers.
Hasselbeck back in the lineup and throws it over the head of Nick Sorensen, number 14. It was Sorensen who 2 years ago here in a rainstorm on a Thursday night had to be called upon to start at quarterback. Al Clark, Dave Meyer, the two who were in front of him, were both injured, and they did not want to suit up or rather play Michael Vick. He was in the midst of his redshirt year.
They had promised his high school coach, Tommy Riemann, that they would redshirt Michael Vick, and certainly a trying moment for Frank Beamer, but he went with Nick Sorensen, and despite 6 turnovers, they found a way to win the game.
Won at 17-0 in that downpour. This will be a dead ball foul. Bring it back.
This is a critical time right now for Tim Hasselbeck. We talked about his leadership. We talked about his presence. He needs to regroup the Boston College team right now.
Sorensen, who started out as a quarterback, then went to defensive back. And in that game, 72 yards, but he had 5 turnovers.
He's one of Frank Beamer's favorite players. You know, he came here as a quarterback, like you said, played free safety last year, was a starter on the team that played in the Sugar Bowl, moved to linebacker this year and was the starter until he had some shoulder problems in August. He was passed up by Phillip Summers, but still a great competitor and a real leader for this Hokie defense.
5-yard penalty against Boston College. 2nd and 15, under 6 to go before the break. Tech is bringing everybody. Hasselback knocked down as he tries to complete it, and it was almost picked off by Ben Taylor as Jake Housewright, number 41, was right in Hasselback's face.
Well, right now, Bud Foster's smelling blood a little bit. He's going to go with the pressure. You see the blitz from Sorensen. Nobody picks up Housewright. And really, William Green's got to make a decision there. There's 2 guys. He has to decide to block the nearest threat. He should have blocked Housewright and allowed Sorensen to come from further outside. Housewright, a good shot on the quarterbacks that time.
3rd and 15. 4-man rush. They stunt. And they're right at Hasselback as he lets it go. It was Lamar Cobb, number 28. 4th down.
They tried to run a wide receiver screen, and right now the pressure too much. With a 2-touchdown lead, Virginia Tech coming after the quarterback. Lamar Cobb right in there quickly. He's not a big guy, 6'2", 220 pounds, but extremely quick.
Again, keep in mind the excellence of the special teams of Virginia Tech. Here they come. Taylor up the middle. The punt away cleanly. Andre Davis with a fair catch. Takes control at the 50-yard line. A 35-yard punt. Nothing on the return. Coming up in the AXA halftime report, Tim Brando and Spencer Tillman. All the scores and highlights, plus the latest college football news. That's on the AXA halftime report. We're just a couple of minutes away.
Again, another good time for play action and trying to go deep. Andre Davis, he's right down here. Actually, he's at the top of the screen.
Here comes the blitz again. Oh, my gosh. Michael Vick threw it to air. A scramble for the football at the 32-yard line. They are still fighting for it. Vick threw it to a trailing back who was not present.
We've seen Michael Vick go the wrong way twice already in the ball game. He is knocked a little bit off his game today, even though he still has the big running numbers. That time he was running an option by himself. Both backs went the other way, and Michael Vick was by himself. Watch, the backs are going this way. Michael's coming this way. Clearly the play was going the other way, and Michael Vick, as you said, pitched it to Aaron. Really a nice job by the defender there, Guthrie, not allowing Michael Vick to recover the football, hanging on to the quarterback and allowing someone else to recover the football.
Ralph Parent, number 24, recovered it. Martin reacts. And now,
big break for the Eagles. Really big break. They got to capitalize.
Hasselback, handoff, Washington going left. Cut down at the 30-yard line. That's a gain of 3. Billy Hardy, number 25. Well, he banged up his knee when he hit the helmet. And then was hit from behind by Sean Murphy. And those 2 plays seem to have affected him.
He's a focused kid who really plays hard, really a student of the game, but they've been able to knock him around a little bit today. Even though he's made some brilliant plays, Boston College has knocked him around a little bit, and a Boston College player shaken up. Cedric Washington at the end of that play got a little shook up, and he is down on the turf right now.
Time has been called to minister to Cedric Washington.
Watch the end of the play here as he's heading toward the sideline, lowers the shoulder, and looks like he just got a shoulder from Billy Hardy right into the thigh area, the top of the knee or the lower thigh, and a little slow getting up.
Cedric Washington, the senior from Holyoke, Massachusetts, leading ball carrier for this team. And now favoring that right leg. Now we remind you tomorrow on the CBS Sports Spectacular, the fastest racers on 2 wheels let it rip at speeds of up to 175 miles per hour at the wrenchhead.com Superbike Classic. Washington still favoring that right leg as he comes to the Boston College bench.
The good news is they have William Green. The bad news is they need both William Green and Cedric Washington to win this football game.
Green is the only running back behind Hasselbeck on second down. Option play, Hasselbeck cuts upfield. He's got some room to run toward the corner, down at the 3-yard line. And a flag. We might get a face mask call.
Lose one of your stud tailbacks, put it on the shoulders of your quarterback. Bad knee and everything. He's a great competitor. Watch the good decision by Hasselbeck. Not to pitch it, to cut it back against the grain, and then try to get to the end zone. Running on a bad right knee, still able to get it inside the 5-yard line. And then the face mask by Billy Hardy at the end of the play moves it even closer to the Hokie goal line. Nice execution on the option that time by Tim Hasselbeck. Both number 7s making some plays in the ball game today.
Hasselbeck trying to ask the crowd to quiet down so that he can call the play in the huddle. 1st and goal from the 1. Vick watches. It was his pitch back to no one, recovered by Ralph Parent, that led to the current circumstance. Back.
Great job of Boston College capitalizing on Michael Vick's turnover. William Green over the right side and then over the goal line. Michael Vick knew that Virginia Tech had a chance to close the door on Boston College here in the first half with the ball at midfield. Boston College right back in it now.
Mike Sutphin's extra point is up and good. No good. No good. No good. He misses for the first time this year.
He missed this one clearly. Hooked this one dead left. Take a look at this kick now. And could be a critical point, leaving the score at 28-20. Just outside the left upright. Another special teams play. It may not seem like much right now. They gave up a punt return for a touchdown. Now a missed extra point.
28-20. We understand we've had a technical problem in the network, so let's go back and look at the touchdown one more time, Todd.
It's going to go to William Green. He's going to go up over the pile to the right side. Pretty good push up front and then good lift by William Green to get in the end zone. Cedric Washington hurt 2 plays before. William Green comes in and takes it into the end zone. And again, that play set up by the nice option run by Tim Hasselbeck, getting it down to the 1-yard line.
Andre Kendrick is the deep man for Virginia Tech. Mike Sutphin, who just missed that extra point, will kick off. Short, returnable, taken at the 12-yard line. Wayne Ward, number 32, rips it out to the 40. Special teams play again.
Let's go back to the big run by Tim Hasselbeck on the option. He does a nice job of reading this man right here. When he peels off for the pitch, Hasselbeck able to keep it and then makes a nice cut back towards the middle of the field. Reads the defense. I've got to keep it now. Cuts it back real nice right there by Hasselbeck. Tries to get it to the end zone. Stopped just short, but a huge play right on the heels of the Michael Vick turnover.
Lee Suggs, Jarret Ferguson, the backs. Michael Vick. Play clock at 5. Toss to Suggs. And again, he breaks into the secondary.
I think Michael Vick tried to get the referee to give him a timeout because he's got an equipment problem. He's got a problem with his chin strap. He couldn't get it buckled up there before that play. Take a look here. This is at the beginning of the play, trying to get his chin strap snapped, can't get it. And again, he's still having a great game, Vern, but he is a little out of sync right now in this ballgame. He's been hit pretty hard a couple times.
Second down and 1. This is Ferguson, the fullback. Struggles for the first down, and see where the spot is made. He's at the 49. Curtis Bolden, number 26. with a tackle. Well, this is not the kind of distraction you want.
No. No, and he obviously didn't know it when he was on the sidelines, but he's got a snap problem. And he's going to probably have to get that fixed.
Laughing with John Smith, the referee. Well, he's got a little bit of time that he's bought now while they bring the chain out to stretch it. First down, Virginia Tech.
Now he's going to have a little stronger guy, one of his offensive linemen, try to fix it for him. Says, I can't get this. Matt Lair, see if you can get my chin strap snapped for me.
First and 10, 3:29 to go before halftime, an 8-point Virginia Tech lead. Ferguson and Suggs on either side of Michael Vick on first down. No blitz this time. Deep. Oh, look at the arm strength. Just does miss Andre Davis. And he does it without really stepping up into the pass.
No, he has got such a quick release and such a strong arm, and Andre Davis has such great speed. That's why last year these guys connected for 9 touchdowns, and Andre Davis averaged 27.5 yards per catch last year. They haven't got him involved in the deep passes as much this year, but this is a good throw and a good effort, just a hair too far for Andre Davis.
Jonathan Ordway, number 28, trying to defend. 2nd and 10. Here comes the blitz again. Vick steps up, shakes a tackle, gets a little screen from the umpire, and that gives him another 3 yards, as if it was needed. Tackle made by Steve Martin. Well, Frank Spaziani was talking with us yesterday. So what's your plan for Michael Vick? He said, well, he said, the ticket manager's got a plan. The donut guy's got a plan. He said, my neighbor in Jersey's got a plan. He said, I think I could use Maurice Green. We need a little speed. We don't have it to counter him. 3rd down and 2.
Nice job by Michael that time, using a longer snap count, getting the freebie on 3rd and short. And I'm just watching Michael Vick's body language. I think he's looking forward to getting into the locker room at halftime. I think he's a little shaken up here.
Dead ball, contact foul, offsides, defense, 5 yards, previous spot, first down by penalty.
Michael Vick, I think he's still, his left knee's bothering him a little bit. Watch him use the long snap count, barking out. You see him moving the head and shoulders a little bit. You can get away with that as a quarterback, and you take those freebies anytime you can get them.
And that is a free first down, averaging just under 7 yards per play today. Emmett Johnson breaks wide to the right. Ernest Wilford, number 19, a 6'5" wide receiver, is bottom of the screen. 1st and 10 from the 35. Batted back, incomplete. Well, let's see how the undefeated Gamecocks of South Carolina are doing. Here's Timmy B.
All right, Vern. Well, they've used 3 quarterbacks for South Carolina. Injured Phil Petty from a week ago, playing with a brace on. Finds Jermel Kelly, who caught the big touchdown pass from Eric Kimry last week. They only trail by 3 in Tuscaloosa.
All right, Tim, it's an 8-point margin here with 2:12 to go before the halftime break. A 2nd down and 10 after that last pass was rejected by Michael Vick. Or for Michael Vick.
Another blitz.
Here it comes. Vick pulls up, lets it fly. Incomplete, but there's a flag down. We're going to get an interference call. Intended for Emmett Johnson. Lenny Walls, number 9, who's the nickelback, was defending.
Now, Lenny Walls did make contact, but he was turning to find the ball. And the problem when you face Michael Vick, Vern, is you have to stay with your coverage longer than against a normal quarterback. Now, this is a blitz coming right here, and Michael Vick is going to beat the blitz. Nobody blocks the blitzer. Michael Vick takes care of him with his speed and his quickness. But now, where you're with most receivers, a defensive back says, I've got a clock in my head. I've got to stay with my coverage a certain amount of time. Not with Michael Vick. You cannot leave your men against Michael Vick. There is contact at the end, but Lenny Walls was beat and then tried to turn back and find the football and pushed off with his left hand to try to make the interception. Again, the problem is You cannot get caught peeking at the quarterback against Michael Vick. He's going to buy time. You must stay with your coverage until the play is over.
First down and 10 at the 20. And the I formation now. 2:04 to go. Suggs again, a big hole. And he just did lose his balance when contacted by Ramon Johnson. He's down at the 10-yard line.
I formation, power football. Watch the lead block of the fullback in here. Again, this is the way they play. The fullback, great block right there in the corner. Good blocking right here. That's power football. That's what Virginia Tech likes to do. Run it out of the eye and then let number 7 do some magic things with it out of the pocket.
2nd and 1. Just outside the 10. Option, left side. Vick cuts it up. Touchdown, Michael Vick.
Burton, that was an audible at the line of scrimmage. We talked about Michael Vick having more responsibility at the line of scrimmage, checking into good running plays. It was an 8-man front by Boston College. Michael Vick checked to it. He sees the defense, he checks to the option, and then we've talked about his speed, his elusiveness. How about the strength at the end of this play to power his way into the end zone?
Carter Worley on for the extra point only twice in the 15.5 games that he has started for Virginia Tech have the Hokies scored fewer than 30 points. Once against West Virginia and again against Florida State. They're over 30 in the first half here. Michael Vick, 2 touchdowns rushing today, 1 from 27, and then the last one, 9 plays, 59 yards. He now has 115 on the ground.
He's thrown the ball, had a couple drops in the passing game too.
DeJuan Daniels will allow this to become a touchback as he takes it over the shoulder. Tomorrow noon Eastern on the NFL Today, join Jim Nantz, Craig James, Jerry Glanville, and Mike Ditka for all the latest NFL news and information right up to kickoff. Boston College alum Leslie Visser, our colleague, has a story of the red-hot Rams offense. That's all tomorrow at noon Eastern on the NFL Today. And at halftime of the games, join Jim, Mike, Craig, and Jerry for the NASDAQ.com halftime report.
Minute 17 now for Tim Hasselbeck. BC has all 3 of their timeouts. So an opportunity for him to try to get down the field.
Bring it back.
I really enjoyed our time.
False start offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down, game clock. 117.
Take a look at Frank Spaziani at the end of the last touchdown. And when we visited with him yesterday, he was talking about their plan. He says, hey, we've got to play as hard as we can and hope that Michael Vick has a couple 3-putt greens. Well, he's had a couple 3-putts today, but he's also made a couple beautiful birdies against his defense too.
Remember, he also said we need an out-of-body experience. 6th penalty against Boston College. Here comes the corner blitz. Ben Taylor, screen pass intended for Green. And Hasselbeck had a couple of Hokies in his face.
And that play was set up too. William Green had a little escort out there, and they just couldn't get a clear throwing lane to get him the football.
Second down, 15. Guy looks like Rulon Gardner after he won the heavyweight wrestling match the other night against the Experiment. 35-20, 2nd and 15. Here's Green, cuts it right, and he's down at the 20. So they got the original 5 back, but clock now winding down, nearing 1 minute to go first half. Nick Sorensen, Corey Bird with the tackles. 3rd and 10.
Tom O'Brien trying to decide what he wants to do here right before the half. They're taking a lot of time. I think he's going to be content to run the football here again.
Hasselbeck will throw it. Goes left, Caught by Dedrick DeWalt, who was tackled by Nick Sorensen.
Now see, Virginia Tech's going to call a timeout to try to block a punt. That was a good move by the Virginia Tech defense. They got the stop on 3rd down and immediately called timeout to get their punt block team on the field.
Clock is stopped with 21 seconds to go. Tech leads by 15, 35-20. They jumped out to a 14-0 lead, both touchdowns within a minute and 41. And one of the TDs was a 71-yard punt return by Andre Davis. And Boston College came back to tie it. Tech got the next 2 touchdowns to take a 28-14 lead. A turnover, Michael Vick with a lateral to no one, recovered by Ralph Parent of Boston College, led to a 1-yard touchdown plunge. The extra point was missed to make it 28-20, and then that man worked his magic again. See, he's still, Todd, favoring that left knee, which he had involved in a collision with a helmet. Well, Beamer ball, look at this. 79 blocked kicks in 153 games.
And for this season, only 2 all of last season. And keep an eye on Eric Green. He got 1 last week.
Here they come. And the punt is away, and it hits Lenny Walls in the posterior. Now a scramble for it, and I think Boston College might have gotten it back.
Well, they got it back, but it should be a dead ball because it hit a Boston College player first. And so as soon as it did that, the ball should be dead right there and Virginia Tech's possession.
Yep.
See Jerry Peter Kuski, the special teams coach, talking to Lenny Walls coming onto the field. And take a look at the end of this play. It was a short punt, just trying to get it off, and the ball hits Lenny Walls in the back of the leg. He doesn't know where the football is, couldn't find it, and as soon as it hit there, the ball was dead.
So the Tech Hokies have a 1st down and 10 with 12 seconds to go.
Little confusion here for Boston College getting set up. They're in a prevent defense.
Here's Vick. Incomplete. Intended for Wilford, number 19. And 6 seconds remain in the break before the break. 2nd down and 10, 35-20.
That would have been a good completion for Virginia Tech. Boston College thinking automatically they were going to throw to the end zone, but that completion would have got them near field goal range. As it stands right now, this is the last play of the first half. Vick will go to the end zone this time.
And he sends Davis, Wilford, and Johnson deep right side. Flag is down, and the ball is tipped and incomplete. This, had it been complete, would have come back. As going to be a holding call against Virginia Tech.
Michael Vick has made some spectacular plays, but Boston College has achieved one thing with their defense today. They have knocked number 7 around a little bit. They've put a few hits on him. He's made some huge plays running.
Offense and penalty has been declined. The first half is over.
Well, 55 points scored in the first half of this game. And Frank Beamer's team up by 15 with 30 minutes of football remaining. Alumni Stadium on the campus of Boston College. And for the first half, Michael Vick, 115 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. And Jill Arrington is with Frank Beamer.
Coach Beamer, it's been a very physical game out there. How is that affecting Michael Vick?
Well, he's taken some shots, and there's been a concern a couple of times. And, this is a good, tough, physical football team. We knew it was going to be that way. We thought they were going to try to hammer us coming in here, and they're doing a pretty good job of hammering us at times.
With that last touchdown, do you feel that you've got the momentum on your side, and how will you sustain that in the second half?
Well, I think we need more. I think the way their offense is moving the football, we need more, and that's the way we got to approach this thing is that let's keep this thing moving and get some more.
All right, thanks for talking to us. Good luck, Coach.
All right, Jill, thank you. So the score here at halftime, 35-20. Virginia Tech leads. Now let's go back to Tim Brando in New York. All right. Back at halftime, 35-20, and no surprise, this has been the Michael Vick show but he has taken some heavy hits.
Yeah, Boston College has done a nice job pressuring him, confusing him, and laying some wood on him, but I'll tell you what, it hasn't seemed to make a difference. He's been phased a couple times, but when you give him space and when he's found a couple creases, he has made it happen with his speed. 2 touchdown runs in the ball game. This one 26 yards on a scramble, and then later a 13-yard touchdown off an audible check to an option. He's had 4 big runs in the ball game, most of them happening against the blitz.
We get set for the start of quarter number 3 from Alumni Stadium in Chestnut Hill, Mass. BC trails by 15. Alumni Stadium on the campus of Boston College filled to capacity, 44,500 on hand for this Big East conference encounter. Some dressed more suitably than others. And DeJuan Daniels is one of the 2 men deep for Boston College as they receive the kickoff to open the second half, trailing by 15 points. Carter Worley will kick it deep for the Hokies of Virginia Tech. And again, sends it deep, touchback. And just moments ago, Jill Arrington had a chance to talk with BC coach Tom O'Brien.
Coach O'Brien, you've been able to get some big hits on Michael Vick a little bit in the first half. What are you going to have to do to slow him down?
I wish I knew. We're going to have to, you have to try to contain him. You have to run after him. You got to catch him, and that's very hard because he's so quick. He makes moves that we don't know where we are. We've had opportunities to make plays. We just haven't made them. I don't know if we don't think we can make them or not, but I think we're up to the speed now, and hopefully we'll play much better this half.
All right, Coach, good luck. Thanks a lot.
All right, Jill, thank you. That just a moment ago, and now here is Tim Hasselbeck and the BC Eagles. The handoff to William Green. Cedric Washington injured in the first half and remains on the bench. Vern Lundquist along with Todd Blackledge. Well, you saw him twice last year. Yeah. My first time this time. He has lived up to expectations, Michael Vick.
And he makes plays when there are no plays there. And then just like Tom O'Brien said, a lot of times they had the right defense called at the right time. Didn't matter with Michael Vick. He's too elusive, too fast, and he breaks down any defense. And Boston College, the one thing they didn't get done that first half, they gave up too many plays. Virginia Tech had 40 offensive plays, only 35 for BC.
Hasselbeck sends it right side behind Dedrick DeWalt. And let's get some injury updates. Once again, here's Jill.
Bad news for Boston College. Cedric Washington has a right knee injury. They still don't know what it is exactly, but he will not return. He will not play. John Ordway has an hyperextended left knee, and he's also not returning.
Wow. Both those injuries critical. I mean, Cedric Washington, a key cog offensively. Ordway, their fastest defender. So a team that already hurts for speed on defense just got a little slower.
On second down, here's the handoff and the quick opener. William Green surging across the 35 into the hands of Roniel Whitaker and gets a first down. Now let's break it down statistically at halftime. Some really gaudy rushing stats. 227 yards rushing for Virginia Tech in the first half.
Yeah, and 115 of those by the quarterback, Michael Vick. 4 of 5 on third downs. They only averaged 2.0 yards needed on third down. So very effective offense for the Hokies in the first half.
First down and 10. Green behind Utzler. Play fake, not the handoff. And William Green gets 1 out to the 39-yard line. The stop is made by Nathaniel Adibi, number 83.
I made the point a moment ago, Vern, that Boston College needed to possess the football and keep Michael Vick on the bench. They've harassed him, they've hit him, they've forced him into 3 for 12 passing, but they gave the offense too many plays. Virginia Tech had 40 plays in the first half. Boston College only 35. You give him that many opportunities, he's going to beat you.
Now Green splits off bottom of the screen, right side. Utzler is the only setback. And Hasselbeck goes deep down the middle. Got his tight end, Guazzo. I'm not sure whether he dropped it or it was tipped by Philip Summers, number 8.
Boy, this looked like a perfect throw right down the heart of the defense. But Philip Summers, the senior out of Clewiston, Florida, on the coverage. And let's see if he gets a hand on the football. Hasselbeck, good protection. He's got single coverage to the tight end. Boy, I think he just dropped it. I think the tight end Guazzo just lost his concentration when Summers flashed in front of him and couldn't come down with the catch.
Well, would have been 6.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. The litany of those who are behind. 3rd down and 9. Option play. Hasselbeck in jail. Lamar Cobb, number 28, coming from that right defensive end spot.
Good adjustments by Virginia Tech to defend the option. Hasselbeck hurt him on the option a couple times in the first half. This time extremely well played. Adibi does the great job of turning everything back inside. He doesn't get the tackle, but he's responsible for the play.
Kevin McKyler on to punt. Today their net yards punting 16. The effect of the special teams. Here's Davis. Lenny Walls misses the tackle. He's the fastest guy on the BC field right now. And Andre Davis goes right and is knocked out of bounds at the 45. That's an 11-yard punt return. Virginia Tech and Michael Vick have the ball. Time call. Just a couple of guys taking a break from postgraduate studies, prepping for oral exams next week. That's a scene that's semi-acceptable in September, absolutely unacceptable any other time. First down, the toss. Lee Suggs comes right. Flag is thrown back at the 45-yard line. And we'll check the nature of the flag. But first, this week's U.S. Army Heritage. Terrific emphasis in the offseason conditioning program for Virginia Tech. This past June, Browning Wynn, the tight end, won the Virginia Tech Ironman competition. They have a variety of off-season training exercises, some more unusual than others. And Browning Wynn, the tight end wearing number 93, was the Ironman champion this year. Look at Jim Druckenmiller's name there. Chad Beasley had won the title in 1999.
Now, I really think that Virginia Tech, this is the one thing that makes their program special. I really think that between them and Nebraska, probably the top 2 teams in the country in terms of what they do in their strength and conditioning program, and the players all buy into it. There's great pride and involvement in that whole program.
That penalty against Virginia Tech, and it was holding. There's a flip out to the right side. Another flag is down. Emmett Johnson dragged down by Willie Poole and Lenny Walls, and Vick took another hit. Very slow getting up. Offside, Boston College. Even though, take a look at this hit.
Well, you want to take as many hits on him that you can in between the whistles. A legal hit that time by Tom Martin, the defensive tackle. And again, anything you can do to slow him down, to knock him out of his rhythm, to make him flinch a little bit, you try to do. And it still may not be enough.
That's right. 5-yard penalty makes it a 2nd down and 7. Steve DeMazzi, the center, and the Hokies at the line, leading 35-20. Fake the toss, give it to the fullback, Jarret Ferguson. He plunges across the 50 and down at the 49. Might have gotten 48.5. Ramon Johnson, number 6, with the tackle.
Again, another blitz. Boston College came with the corner blitz to the backside of the play. And again, Frank Spaziani, that is his strategy today, is to try to pressure, create blitzes. Hey, we may give up 60 points, but we've got to try to do that. It's the only chance he feels they have to win is to pressure and try to knock the ball loose and create some confusion.
Tech is 4 of 5 on 3rd down conversions in the game. And off Suggs. Now they're 5 of 6, and he gallops down to the 30-yard line before Ralph Parent stops the play, but a 19-yard gain.
We talked about this athletic offensive line. They're not overly big. Only one guy over 290 pounds. That's Josh Redding, the right guard, but very athletic. You see the pull and the good footwork by the offensive line. Redding leading the play, and then the speed of Suggs. He gives them more speed at the tailback position than they've had in a long time. Chiron Stith was an excellent runner, but didn't have the speed that Lee Suggs brings to the table.
Michael Vick changing the play. Double tight end set with one wide receiver. The handoff to Suggs. This time he's tripped up at the 30-yard line. Manages to get down to the 27.
Timmy Turf got him that time.
He'll reach up and grab you. This is only the second game that Virginia Tech will play on turf. Not something they this year. They don't do a lot of it.
As if they need more help with their speed. You know, guys like Suggs and Vick and Davis are even faster on this stuff than they are on natural grass.
Second down and 8. Option left side. Vick. 25-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 5. Willie Poole, Doug Goodwin with the tackle. Michael Vick, we had a chance to chat with him briefly yesterday during the walkthrough here at Alumni Stadium. He's a very quiet young man, very calm demeanor. Has handled all of this publicity, the enormity of the spotlight under which he labors now. Great equanimity. Time. Flags down.
Ricky Bussell told us the other day that
Offsides defense, 5-yard penalty.
One of the things about Michael Vick is he's a great listener. You know, he really is soaking everything up, really trying to get better as a decision maker and a field general. Now, last year he got by so much just on his pure athleticism and making plays, and this year he is trying to mature as a quarterback, as a leader.
Well, he said the two things where he thinks he can really improve are, 1, reading defenses, and 2, learning to dump it off to an alternate receiver, a 3rd or a 4th option, instead of trying to make the big play every time. 1st down and 10. There's a toss. Kendrick looked like he was thinking about throwing it for a second, but may have been just waiting for his blocking to be out in front of him. Well, they have assigned a member of the athletic department, Sharon McCloskey, Senior Associate Athletic Director. One of her charges is to have a plan for the care and feeding of Michael Vick, to make sure that all requests for him go through her office.
Yeah, you want to talk to Michael or do anything with Michael, you've got to go through her, and it helps having someone like that. It also helps being in a place like Blacksburg. It's not the easiest place to get to, but they have a real plan in place to help Michael have as normal of an experience as he can at Virginia Tech.
Suggs, he's over 100 yards, perhaps. Flag is thrown. This one might come back.
I don't know if they have an Olympic event for penalty flag throwing, but that was a heck of a throw. Came from the sideline and almost got to midfield. Some extra beanbags in that one.
That'll be. This was a beanbag throw.
Check it out. Watch here. Now watch this. It starts here, and that flag ends up right about there. Great throw. Left-handed, too.
Second and 19. Not sure which direction to take that. So let it go. Second and 19. Vick. Here comes the blitz. Vick back. Good protection. Steps up, lets it go. Nice catch at the 10-yard line. Slakowski, the tight end, dropped one earlier, makes amends on this one.
He dropped an easy one earlier that hit him right in the chest. This time he's going to extend and make the catch. Here's Slakowski here. Watch Michael Vick. Steps up in the pocket, keeps his poise in there, and makes the nice throw to Slakowski. And Slakowski with a good extension to catch the ball with his hands. No, down and distance doesn't mean anything to Michael Vick either. Second and 19, 3rd and 10. It really doesn't matter.
3rd and 1 here, midway through quarter number 3. Suggs to the 5. Touchdown, Virginia Tech. It's a team that's undefeated. They are averaging 49 points per game, and they're on their way this afternoon.
I don't think that Virginia Tech is near the defensive team they were a year ago. They're still young and growing, but they are better on offense than they were a year ago. Michael Vick is a better quarterback. Lee Suggs gives them more speed at the tailback, and the offensive line is a year better.
Carter Worley's extra point is up and good. Lee Suggs' 9th touchdown of the year 2000.
The Home Depot College Football on CBS is sponsored by America Online, Top Flight XL 2000, Suzuki, and by Bud Light.
The undefeated Hokies of Virginia Tech have extended their lead to 22 points now with 7:06 to go, quarter number 3. Worley has had an excellent day kicking off. This one of the least effective in quite some time. Matter of fact, it goes out of, wouldn't you know? Wouldn't you know? And he's had 3 touchbacks already. Coming up tomorrow, we invite you to join us for the NFL on CBS. Regional action, San Diego, St. Louis. Dan Deerdorf gets to call a home game tomorrow at home in St. Louis. Pittsburgh at Jacksonville, Indianapolis at Buffalo, and Baltimore at Cleveland. New England, the Patriots go out to take on the Broncos at Mile High. And it all begins with this group of the NFL today at 12 noon Eastern time tomorrow.
Baltimore and Cleveland. I wonder if Art Modell is going to make the trip into Cleveland this year.
My guess is no.
Still some bitter feelings there up in northeastern Ohio.
First down and 10, Boston College. Guazzo and Ellis, double tight ends. Hasselback to William Green. That's 6 yards out to the 41. South Carolina taking on Alabama. Let's go back to New York and check in with Tim.
Vern, this is a game Alabama absolutely has to have. And Andrew Zhao on a busted play gets his first touchdown of the year. That's right, either running or passing. His first touchdown of the year. They lead the Gamecocks with under 5 to play by 10.
All right, Tim, thank you. Here it's a second down and 3. Hasselback gets it off. Green has a first down at the 50-yard line. Corey Bird, Willie Pyle, number 35, after the 8-yard pickup. In the third quarter, Boston College has had a decided edge, but they have played Army and Navy in addition to West Virginia. They haven't come up against this bunch.
They struggled offensively against West Virginia. Tom O'Brien says it's the worst offensive performance since he's been here. They've been much better today on offense, but just you got to score every time with Virginia Tech.
Guazzo after the play action fake and rollout from Hasselback, but no gain on the play. He's down at the 50, and Corey Bird again makes the tackle.
Keep in mind also, as Joe reported, Cedric Washington out of the football game, and one of the real advantages that BC had was having both of those backs, Washington and Green. They could rotate and keep them fresh and try to wear people down. It's all on the shoulders and the legs now of William Green. He's going to have to go the rest of the way for the Eagles.
Dedrick DeWalt split wide left. 2nd and 10. Handoff. Green splits right guard, right tackle, and moves it to the 46-yard line. Virginia Tech going after win number 5 in this very short series. This is only the 8th time these two teams have met in football. Members of the Big East, of course. Virginia Tech having captured 2 league titles and share another one. Boston College. Now Ryan Reed goes wide to the left side, number 14, transfer from the Naval Academy. Play fake. Here comes the rush. House right, and Hasselback just has to let it go. Corey Bird, Hasselback, and David Pugh, all 3 in the neighborhood with Hasselback.
A lot easier for Bud Foster to call defenses with a lead like this at 42-20. Easy to pressure the quarterback. You don't have to respect the run nearly as much. You can pin your ears back and go after Tim Hasselback.
Now BC has a special teams player late arriving on the field. He gets set. Kevin McKiner is back to punt. Return is on all the way. And Davis lets it bounce, and it limps toward the goal line.
Nice play.
They might have gotten that at the 1. I believe they did, yes.
That was Josh Servey who snapped the football and then ran down and made the great play at the 2-yard line. That is a great hustle play by a guy who snapped the football and then went down there and downed it on the 2. Watch the end of this play, Josh Servey.
.509 to go third quarter. Virginia Tech up 42-20. But start this drive at their own 2-yard line. Jake Grove, redshirt freshman at center, and motion in the offensive line, and the penalties that have hampered Boston College all season long might jump up and bite them again.
Yeah, and I think it was a true freshman in there, Justin Hines, a freshman out of Piscataway.
Defense, 5-yard penalty remains, first down.
Freshman out of Piscataway, New Jersey, listening to the count instead of watching the football. Watch him right in here. He's listening to Michael Vick's voice instead of watching the football that is about 8 inches from his nose. And credit Michael Vick for using the snap count and doing a veteran quarterback thing in his own end zone.
That the 8th penalty against Boston College. Here comes the corner blitz. Flag is down, and so is Andre Kendrick. He was popped.
They're going to give that 5 yards back. Browning Wynn moved that time, the tight end for Virginia Tech.
Full start, offense. 5 yards, remain, first down.
Here he is right here, the super iron Hokie. Little movement early. This is a huge opportunity for Boston College, Vern. Yeah, they're down 22, but they've got Virginia Tech pinned back for the first time in this game. They need a huge play from their defense right now.
Well, let's start it over. 2nd and 10. Vick in the end zone. Rolls to his right. Drills it. Intercepted. Lenny Walls picks it off at the 10-yard line. Junior college transfer. Lenny Walls, number 9.
They needed a big play. They got it from Lenny Walls. Here he is right here. Man-to-man coverage. He's reading the quarterback the whole way. And watch the quick break on the ball. Underneath Andre Davis. Excellent play by Lenny Walls. Reading the quarterback and getting under the throw. Boston College came from a blitz from the backside. They came with the other corner, and the corner on the play side got the interception.
Walls playing in place of the injured John Ordway. His first interception for the Eagles. Hasselback hands it off to Green. Tries to slip a tackle. Does. And is down at the 1. Wonderful effort from William Green. Philip Summers thought he had him, number 8. The tackle was slipped.
Well, this does look a little bit like the bulldozer. 215 pounds, William Green. Watch the leg strength and the upper body strength to keep dragging defenders closer to the goal line.
First and goal inside 5 minutes remaining third quarter. Double tight end set. Green the deep back behind Utzler the fullback. It's Green. Denied. Second down.
Wasn't able to get airborne that time. He was trying to go up and over the top again, and I think Corey Bird was able to get in there quickly and get to the legs of William Green before he was able to get up in the air. Take a look at this again now. Watch Corey Bird come from the left of the screen. He gets there and wraps him up as William Green is trying to launch.
Robert Ellis is tight to the left. Guazo tight or off the line to the right side. That's Guazo in motion. Hasselback, Green, stopped. Lost yardage, back to the 4. Chad Beasley and Jake Housewright.
Boy, two outstanding plays on goal line defense, back-to-back for the Hokies. Your offense turns it over. Two great plays. Hausreich finishes it off, but Beasley is the guy that got the penetration and slowed down the action.
3rd and goal, just inside the 4.
Problem now is 3rd and goal, and you're almost in a definite pass situation, and Virginia Tech knows that as well.
Hasselback hands it off to Green. Nothing doing. 4th and goal. And a negative reaction from the faithful here.
What a response by the Hokie defense. They've been pushed around a little bit today. They've given up some yards. They've given up some points. But in a sudden change situation after the turnover, 3 brilliant plays in a row from their own goal line.
Well, it was 2 years ago against Notre Dame here in Alumni Stadium when the Eagles had 4 shots inside the 2 and could not score.
Hokies need a timeout.
Yep. From 1st and goal at the 1 to 4th and goal at the 3. Timeout. Let's take a look now at our Exxon scoring recap. In the first quarter, Michael Vick, 32 yards passing, but really had a heck of a first down. There was a touchdown inside for Boston College, and then Vick with an 11-yard touchdown run, 35-20 at the half. And then Lee Suggs, who was also over 100 yards with a run for a touchdown of 10 yards in the 3rd quarter, and that is how we got here. 42-20. And Boston College now looking at 4th and goal.
Keep an eye on number 82, Robert Ellis, the tight end. He's a very athletic kid out of Baytown, Texas. Good target here inside the goal line.
He flips to the left side. Reed is split wide left. Hasselback goes in the corner for Reed. Up in the air, incomplete. Roniel Whitaker knocked it away. Ryan Reed in his first year at Boston College after transferring from the Naval Academy.
Outstanding defensive stand by Bud Foster's Charges. Single coverage, mano a mano. Reed going against Whitaker. Whitaker reading the eyes, and as soon as he saw the receiver look for the ball, he turned back and looked for it. Looks like Reed could have made the catch, but Whitaker able to get his hand in there at the end and knock the ball loose.
Roniel Whitaker, a nephew of Pernell Whitaker, the boxing great. Little left jab on that one. Hasselback knew it was going awry. Nice defensive play. The ball goes over on downs. Boston College unable to capitalize on the interception. Corner blitz. Hand off to Kendrick. Out of a tackle. And down finally. And there's Andy Romanowski, who came in a little bit late, number 52. Ball is down at the 9. Let's take a look at this toss from Hasselback to Ryan Reed in the corner.
Take a look again. A pretty good throw. You throw it to the back pylon, let your receiver go up and catch it. He just wasn't able to control it when he first contacted the football. He bobbled it a little bit, and that allowed Whitaker to get a hand in there and swat it away.
2nd and 4. Fullback Cullen Hawkins, number 42, makes the tackle. Hawkins was the starter in his junior season, suffered a broken foot in the game against Miami, was out for the remainder of the year, got a medical red shirt, thus he is in his 5th season here. Gave way then to Jarret Ferguson, and they've rotated since.
Well, can Boston College get another big play from their defense on 3rd down? They got one the last time with the interception. What can they do on this 3rd and 3 situation?
Davis wide right.
Checked by Michael Vick. Watch the option on the audible.
Well, it's going to be 3rd and long. Matt Winsek, number 58. Back up right tackle. Moved.
False start, offense. The penalty is 5 yards from the previous spot. Remains 3rd down.
Here's Winsek right here. Whenever your quarterback is trying to audible and he's communicating and the linemen are in their stance for an extended period of time, very easy to kind of get impatient and try to get out of that stance. Plus the crowd noise having an effect in their own end zone area.
3rd and 8 at the 5 now. Davis again breaks wide right.
Single coverage again out there with Davis on Lenny Walls.
Here come the Eagles. They'll blitz. Kendrick tries to break through. He is stopped at the 8-yard line, perhaps the 9. It'll be 4th down. Florida, Mississippi State. Let's get an update. Here's Tim Brando.
All right, Vern, it's that risk-reward defense of Jolie Dunn. Take a risk, only this time it's Rex Grossman with the reward, hitting Jabbar Gaffney for the touchdown. A celebration penalty ensued after Gaffney made the touchdown. Remember the throat slash, fellas? They missed the extra point.
Wow. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Here's the punt. And it takes a sideways hop and will be down at the 43-yard line. 34-yard punt. Premiering this Friday on CBS, The Chase is on, and the most talked about new drama of the season. Tim Daly and Michael T. Williamson star in The Fugitive, premiering this Friday on CBS.
Vern, Boston College was not able to get into the end zone off that great field position opportunity the last time. Yeah, it was discouraging, but their defense came through again. Now Tim Hasselbeck must get his team in the end zone here. 30 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. They've got to score a touchdown on this drive.
They'll hand it off to William Green on 1st down. A broken tackle there. Green takes a double pop. Was being dragged down by McAdam from behind. Kevin McAdam, number 5. And then en route to the ground took a pop. There's McAdam, a transfer from Colorado State, one-time high school quarterback.
Actually spent some time at Grossmont Junior College out in California too. A long trek to get to Blacksburg, Virginia.
That is the end of 3 in Boston with the score 42-20 Virginia Tech. We'll return right after this message and this word from your local station. One can almost not describe how beautiful this day has been in New England as the sun gets ready to set. The Chestnut Hill Reservoir. We're at Alumni Stadium in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts, as we begin the start of quarter number 4, 42-20. There's the handoff to William Green as we begin the 4th quarter. Vern Lundquist along with Todd Blackledge. Todd, Frank Beamer, of course, the Virginia Tech coach, played at Virginia Tech back in the late 60s. He was a defensive back, and he played for a man named Jerry Claiborne, who was one of the most admired and well-liked coaches in college football. And all of us who knew him mourn his loss. Jerry Claiborne died earlier this week at the age of 72.
Yeah, my dad, a longtime football coach, college coach for a lot of years, and Jerry Claiborne, certainly one of the good guys in the coaching world.
There is the handoff to William Green, and he moves out to the 25, a gain of 11. Jerry Claiborne had been battling Alzheimer's disease for the last several years, had been living in Bowling Green, Kentucky, died on Tuesday, and funeral services were held Thursday in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Not only at Virginia Tech, but also at Maryland and Kentucky. And one of 5 coaches enshrined earlier this year in the College Football Hall of Fame. Among that list, our old colleague Terry Donahue. 42-20. Second down. Second and 9 at the 18. Play fake. Hasselbeck. Ellis looked like he was open for a moment. There's DeJuan Daniels, number 32, and he'll have a little conversation with Roniel Whitaker.
I think Hasselbeck was intentionally trying to go to his tight end, number 82, Robert Ellis. He was well covered by the Hokies and had to dump it off to his secondary receiver that time, DeJuan Daniels. Good job of getting something out of the play, but Robert Ellis was the intended receiver. Again, a big target at 6'5", 250 pounds, the senior out of Baytown, Texas.
William Green on that third down carry to the 17-yard line, and that brings up another fourth down. 4th and 6, Boston College.
Great play that time by Chad Beasley on third down. The veteran, the most experienced defensive lineman up there for Virginia Tech, knifed through and made a big play.
Burke and Reed wide left on 4th down. Blitz coming. Hasselback goes deep. Has Burke. Touchdown, Boston College. His second touchdown catch of the day. This one from 17 yards out. He beat the true freshman Eric Green, number 1.
Nice job by Tim Hasselback, knowing the blitz was coming. The blitz is coming from outside. It's unblocked. He knows that, but he also knows he's in the shotgun. He's got to come a long way. He knows he has enough time to stay in there and make the throw against one-on-one coverage. Good read by Tim Hasselback and patience to avoid the blitz.
Boston College goes for 1. Sutphin knocks it home.
Jamal Burke, single coverage on the freshman Eric Green, and a big touchdown for the Eagles.
Tech's lead now at 15, 42-27, just under 13 minutes to go. Sandro Scortino will kick off this time in place of Sutphin, and he knocks it 5 yards in, touchback. And let's check in with Jill Arrington.
Well, Jamal Burke is better known as Leapfrog for his 41-inch vertical jumps, which I'm sure came in handy on that touchdown. But he's a good guy off the field, too. He is an active member in the Boys and Girls Club of Brockton. That's the town that he's from. He brings the kids over to campus and shows them a better lifestyle around here. It serves as a motivation for the kids so that they can know what a better lifestyle they can have if they have hard work and perseverance just like him. Back to you guys.
All right, Jill. Brockton, Mass.
Couple
the name Marciano. Marciano comes immediately to mind.
How about Marvin Hagler? Isn't he from Brockton as well?
Yes. Here's the toss to Suggs. Tries to turn the corner. Can't. Now this crowd is trying to urge this Eagle defense back into it.
And a credit to the Boston College crowd. Not many folks have left. They're still here. And then they can come into play here in the fourth quarter. Maybe they're sticking around to see if Michael Vick's still going to do something. But the bottom line is they're still here, and they can still make some noise for the Eagles.
2nd down and 10. Here comes the corner blitz. Willie Poole. He dodges Poole again, does Vick. Well, they do get him after a 4-yard gain, but Willie Poole must be the most exasperated athlete on the field. That's at least 3 times today he's had him.
Perfect call, perfect situation. Quarterback has his back to where the blitz is coming from. Doesn't matter. He still makes the play. Take a look again now. From the short side of the field, the corner blitz, unblocked, but Michael Vick still just kind of feels it, like he's got eyes in the back of his head, and then able to elude it and get it upfield and turn a negative into a positive. Amazing.
3rd and 7. Blitz coming again. Vick nailed. Steve Martin got there first.
The 20th blitz that Frank Spaziani has called in the ball game today. They are going after number 7. We're selling the farm. We're coming after this guy. It's the only chance we've got. He beat us the last play. This time the Eagles got to him on the blitz. Safeties, linebackers, they're bringing a little bit of everything, and nowhere to go for Michael Vick. Oh my. A break for the Hokies.
A delay of game call. We didn't see the flag thrown.
3rd down and 12 at the 18.
How many times does a penalty come out to be a break for your offense? You don't get the play off. There it is, down to 0, and the ball not snapped. The sack wiped away, and another opportunity for number 7.
Dead ball foul, of course.
Yeah. Gee, I wonder if they're going to blitz.
I'm going to hang around you and learn a little football. See if they call a ball play here. Here's the blitz. Vick dodges out. Look at him run. Oh, my gosh. Foot race. He's got one man to beat, and he's got a shield downfield. Michael Vick. Amazing. A flag is down. Face mask. Extraordinary. There is no way to defend that. 82 yards.
There is no defense for Michael Vick.
During the run, we had a personal foul, face mask, on the defense. The result of the play is a touchdown. The penalty will be assessed on the try.
The blitz, it's there. Boston College has him. They can't wrap him up. And then it's turn out the lights. 4.25 speed, faster than anybody on the field. Forget about it. Unbelievable. How many plays have we seen? 205 yards rushing. How many of those rushing yards have we seen made on plays where the right defense was called at the right time and he just broke it down purely by himself with his athletic ability?
Carter Worley for the extra point. Bad snap. And this one is not even going to be attempted. Michael Vick, 4.25 speed. An 82-yard touchdown run. Life is good when you got that kind of talent.
The Home Depot College Football on CBS is sponsored by Exxon, Chevrolet Trucks, Salomon Smith Barney, and by the Olive Garden.
My guess is a couple of emotions among the crowd of predominantly Boston College supporters. They're shocked by what they just saw, but they're probably enthralled by it.
Yeah. Well, they're watching a magic show.
Yes.
You know, it's just like they paid admission to come to watch a magic show.
Here's DeWarren Daniels out to the 28-yard line and tackled. Well, obviously, this 82-yard scamper by Michael Vick worthy of another look.
And again, you go back to the dead ball penalty for delay a game, negated the sack and gave him one more opportunity, and boy, did he make it count.
Hand off to Green across the 30 to the 32. Now the stat of the game, what do you think it might be? Let's go for rushing yardage for Michael Vick. 205 yards, a career high. Oh boy, need the thesaurus and the dictionary for adjectives.
You know, it's a scary thought too, Vern, is as good as he is, he says his little brother might be just as good.
Hasselback gets nailed as he gets rid of it for Ryan Utzler. Nick Sorensen was there. Here's a little sidelight. Michael Vick with 4.25 speed, 4.25. Asked him if he'd been watching the Olympics and the track and field events, particularly Maurice Green and Michael Johnson. He said, no, not interested. Not interested. Too much else on his mind. He'd make a pretty good anchor on a relay team, wouldn't he? Take your pick, 400 meter or 4x400 meter. Hasselback. Ben Taylor, number 40. And Chad Beasley, number 94.
I was talking about Michael's little brother. He has a younger brother, Marcus, who was a junior at Warwick High School, playing for Tommy Riemann, the same coach, same school that Michael played for. He's a wide receiver. Now he's playing quarterback. Wants to be a wide receiver. Would love to team up with his brother. Boy, oh boy, that's a scary thought. To
Yes.
imagine there could be another anything near Michael Vick.
Fair catch called. And the ball. I thought I saw him. Of course, it bounced. And there's the flag. I thought I saw Davis clearly signal fair catch. Well, you know, when you've seen Michael Vick, you begin to doubt that you're seeing things that are real. But at least I caught the fair catch call. There's the familiar jersey on the left of a Heisman Trophy winner, Doug Flutie, mid-80s. And we may be watching another here wearing number 7. The sophomore, Michael Vick. Cullen Hawkins, Andre Kendrick in the backfield. Here's the toss to Kendrick. Bounces to the outside after he got a block from his tight end Slukowski. Michael Vick for the day thus far, and he is still on the field. 205 yards rushing. It was a year ago against Boston College when he accounted for 366 yards, but most of that was passing.
Yeah, most of that was passing last year. I think he was 11 of 13 last year against Boston College, and he's had a few drops today throwing the football. But again, what he does goes beyond the numbers. I mean, the pressure, the constant pressure that he puts on a defense, and he virtually eliminates down and distance. I mean, it really doesn't matter what down and distance you have him in. It doesn't mean anything to him.
Quick opener. Andre Kendrick, number 4. Well, obviously Michael Vick's name is on anybody's short list of Heisman hopefuls this year. How the others, some of those, and we've arbitrarily picked a quartet or a quintet here.
Yeah, you got to remember now, Michael Bennett, they lost today to Michigan. That's the second loss for Wisconsin. LaDainian Tomlinson, you know, he's kind of the dark horse in this thing, but is a great runner. And you got to remember, TCU undefeated. They beat Northwestern a couple weeks ago, 41-14. Northwestern on a roll, beat Michigan State today. So that's a good football team he plays for at TCU.
First down and 10. The toss to Kendrick. And Willie Poole bites off the Hawkins block and makes the tackle. Well, time for another update on Mississippi State and Florida. Here's Tim once again.
Vern, you know, John Hoke, the defensive coordinator of the Gators, made 3 changes in his defense that hasn't helped against the run. Look at this. Dante Walker set sail 60 yards. Wayne Madkin would plunge it in from there 1 yard out. They'll try 40-23 Mississippi State.
Oh, Tim, it was grim in Gainesville after they edged Tennessee. I can't imagine what the atmosphere is going to be like at Gainesville after this one.
Quite a response for Jackie Sherrill's troops, too, after the tough loss to South Carolina. A big win on the way there for the Bulldogs.
There's a misfire from Michael Vick. That one is incomplete. It'll be third down. Sunday on the season premiere of 60 Minutes, how does Firestone answer the charge that their tires are not safe? That's what Ed Bradley wanted to know, and he reports it Sunday on 60 Minutes.
You know, we showed those Heisman hopefuls. Another guy that we obviously have to put up in there, Woody Dantzler from Clemson, is off to an incredible start for the season and does a lot of the similar kind of things that Michael Vick does as a thrower and as a runner.
Well, on the last third down, he went 82 yards. Heaven help us here. Here comes the blitz again. Vick steps up, holds it, bumps again. That may be ruled a fumble. I thought he was forward motion, but there's no indication of that.
Well, I don't think he was trying to throw the football. I think the arm came forward, but I think it was really a fumble. And a little careless that time by Michael Vick. And gosh, it's kind of nitpicky when you try to find something that he doesn't do real well, but You see him looking downfield, and he's pump faking, he's pumping, He's not trying to throw it. This is a fumble. The ball comes out as he just drops the football. And a good call by the officials. Nowhere to go with the football, and recovered by the Eagles.
So the second Michael Vick turnover. He had a pass intercepted by Lenny Walls, and now the fumble. First down and 10. Here comes Green. Ridden by Ronyell Walker, and that's going to be unnecessary roughness on Ronyell Walker. The boxing background became a wrestling background all of a sudden. Whitaker, rather, not Walker. Beg your pardon.
Well, Bud Foster loves aggressiveness. He loves playing with emotion and passion, but no need for that. Well out of bounds, and the official right there, field judge. There's Bud. He's had his work cut out for him a little bit this year. He lost 8 starters off that team last year that was one of the best defenses in the country. And he said, we've got young guys playing in there, but we haven't changed our philosophy. And we still want to play with attack and emotion and intensity, and we expect these new guys to come up to that level of play. We're not going to lower our standards or our expectations just because we have new guys playing.
First and 10 after the penalty. The ball is spotted at the 13. Give to Green, up the middle. Touchdown, Boston College.
The offensive line of Boston College, no quit in the Eagles. Look at the big guys pulling. Dukakis, and Mark Colombo leading the way for William Green.
Eagles will go for one. Mike Sutphin on for the extra point. Up and good. William Green with a 12-yard touchdown run. It comes with 7:21 to go in the ball game. Crescent moon creeping up above the horizon, 48-34. Look for the onside kick.
Yeah, Virginia Tech up for the onside kick, but watch the pooch kick.
No, they kick it deep, and Kendrick is back there. Grabs it at the 1-yard line. Andre Kendrick down at the 21. Might give him the 22. Today's Rigid Tool Scholar Athlete Award goes to Ramon Johnson of Boston College. Rigid Tools' commitment to the investment of our future is shown today by donating $1,000 to the Boston College General Scholarship Fund.
Vern, obviously hindsight is 20/20 in any case, but I can't help but go back to 2 critical plays. In the first half, Boston College gave up the long punt return for a touchdown to Andre Davis, and then the sack that was negated because of the delay of game. The next play, Michael Vick goes 82 yards.
That was just earlier in this quarter. Here is Suggs, and it's a 14-point game right now.
If that sack stands and they have to punt the football, it's just 42-34 right now. Boston College down by a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. As it stands, 2 touchdowns behind.
Remember what Dana Bible, the offensive coordinator at Boston College, was telling us yesterday? There are 6 gaps per game. GAPS, the acronym for game-altering plays. 6 per game. And if you win 4, you usually win the game. Here's Suggs. Dana Bible is the 46-year-old offensive coordinator of this team. Played collegiately at Cincinnati. There he is. Of course, there was a legendary coach at Texas A&M and the University of Texas in the first half of the last century, Dana X. Bible, who coached at A&M 1919 to 28, and then at Texas for 9 years. Dana Bible said he received a letter when he was a player at Cincinnati from DX Bible. They tried to establish some kind of relationship. They didn't, but they did exchange letters, and Dana said he was honored to receive a note from DX Bible. There's the handoff to Suggs again. Just to complete the story, Dana said when he, in 76, when he started coaching, he went to Texas A&M. He knew that DX Bible had coached at Texas. He forgot about the Aggie connection. And he went down to A&M to see George Hafner, who was on Tom Wilson's staff then. Walked in and said he wanted to see George Hafner, and the lady, the receptionist, said, "And your name?" And he said, "I'm Dana Bible." And the receptionist, steeped in Aggie lore, thought he was pulling her leg and said, "Look over my shoulder. Here was a beautiful oil portrait of Dana X Bible." Dana Bible said then he became aware of the man for whom he was named, or wasn't named. Jarret Ferguson.
Right now, Boston College's defense and Frank Spaziani battling two things, the Hokies and the clock. Michael Vick going to try to use the clock to his advantage, wait as long as he can in the huddle to call the play. Take a look at what Virginia Tech has done running the football. This is just sick right here. 402 yards rushing against the Boston College Eagles.
2nd and 3. Suggs. They'll add to the total with a first down at the 48-yard line.
Yeah, I thought the other thing, when we talked to Frank Spaziani yesterday, I thought it was very funny. He said, you know, when they lost in Blacksburg last year, he walked off the field and said, "Man, I had a terrible game plan. What an awful plan." Felt like that for a couple weeks until he watched the Sugar Bowl, and he said, "You know what, my plan wasn't so bad. Look at Florida State struggling with the guy." He's going to do the same thing today. He's going to go home after the game. He's going to say, "What a terrible plan." He's going to watch the films. He's going to see, I had the right call several times. It just didn't matter with Michael Vick.
1st and 10 now at the 47. Here's Suggs again. They just pound away down to the 42. Today's player of the game, presented by Salomon Smith Barney, is guess whom? 210 yards rushing, including that 82-yard gallop that was a thing of beauty. 3 touchdowns. Watch in December when Salomon Smith Barney presents the CBS Sports College Football Player of the Year award show.
I think the other thing you got to remember about this Boston College defense, they're playing without their best defensive lineman, and Antonio Garay, who got hurt against West Virginia, and their top 2 veteran linebackers, who both were hurt last week against Navy.
Lee Suggs, tackled by Keith Levitt.
We talked about the kind of start he's had this year and the speed he brings to the tailback position. A threat to go to the end zone every time he touches the football. Great burst and acceleration from the tailback position.
And for the day, 142 yards, 7.5. On a normal evening, those are gaudy offensive stats, but they'll be forgotten in this game.
Second best running back on the field today.
Right. There's the give to the fullback. That's Ferguson. Jarret Ferguson, number 27. Levitt and Doug Bissett make the tackle. Under 3 to go, 2nd and 10. Coming tonight on CBS, Julia Roberts and Denzel Washington star in a chilling conspiracy based on the unforgettable John Grisham thriller, The Pelican Brief. Don't miss it. That's tonight on CBS.
I'm looking forward to seeing Denzel's new movie about the high school football in Virginia. That looks, Remember the Titans, looks like an outstanding movie.
Suggs again. Cut down inside the 35 at the 34. Doug Goodwin, Keith Levitt. 2:20 remaining. Time has been called. We'll return to Alumni Stadium after this. Tech leads 48-34, and let's check in once again with Jill Arrington.
Well, Virginia Tech is known for its blue-collar style defense, and they have a special award called the Lunch Pail Award, and they give that to the best defensive player on the team. Whoever plays the best in the game gets this lunch pail, and they're responsible for it the whole next week, all through practice, all the way to the next game. They can't let it out of their sight. So I wonder who will get it this game, guys.
All right, Jill, got a candidate? It hasn't been a defensive thriller,
No,
has
it hasn't been. I mean, Chad Beasley's made a couple nice plays on the inside for them from his tackle position. Corey Bird, probably their best defensive players, made a couple nice plays.
Now this may be a week you just leave the tuna sandwiches in there and see who picks it up. 3rd and 9. The toss to Suggs, chased by Goodwin. It'll be 4th down.
Another timeout quickly called by Boston College. 2 remaining now in the ball game.
.210 on the clock.
Check that, 1 timeout left for Boston College.
And a 4th down. Well, Pittsburgh, of course, I think most of you know, off to a big start in the year 2000 in the Big East, 4-0. Virginia Tech about to go 4-0. Miami at 2-1. West Virginia 3-1. Could be very interesting before this season is over.
Couple big games for Virginia Tech left. Got West Virginia on a Thursday night down in Blacksburg. Pittsburgh will visit on October 28th, and then we'll be at the big game in Miami November 4th when the Hurricanes, who have not beaten Virginia Tech in the last 5 years, will have their shot at Michael Vick and the Hokies.
It was last year against West Virginia that Virginia Tech came in as a decided favorite, and it got, frankly, very scary. And here was Vick toward the end of the game in Morgantown, and they went on to win that 22-20 on 4th down. Peasley with the punt, and it'll be down at the 1-foot line. Well, let's go back to that West Virginia Tech game. Sean McDonough with the call at the end of the game. Sean was remarkably silent. Must have suffered from a rare case of laryngitis.
Rare indeed.
Our dear friend who lives in the Boston area, of course, Sean McDonough. 22-20 was the final of that one. 2 to go. Tim Hasselbeck out of the end zone. Deep right side, that one incomplete at the 20, and a flag is thrown. Ryan Reed, number 14, the intended receiver, and Corey Bird might get flagged. Reed, we told you, graduated, or rather attended the Naval Academy for 1 year, had aspirations of a military career as a pilot, and then changed his mind after 1 year there. In high school, Ryan Reed caught passes from a guy named Drew Brees.
Not a bad combination.
Now, interference call is against Virginia Tech. First down and 10 at the 15-yard line. 4-man rush. Left side, intercepted. Picked off by Corey Bird. Dances right and is going to be down at the 15-yard line.
Well, if he didn't have the lunch pail before this play,
that's right.
I think Corey just secured carrying it for the rest of the week. Obviously, Virginia Tech trying to keep everything in front of him, and Corey Bird shows a little vertical there going up to get the football, sitting in zone coverage.
10 tackles and 1 interception, and the clock stopped on the turnover with 1:45 to go. Well, there's a friend of ours who's quite ill back home in Milwaukee, Al McGuire, the legendary coach of Marquette. I can't come to Boston College without thinking of Al because I worked a couple of games with him here. And we just want him to know that all of us are thinking about him, wishing him the best in these very difficult days for Al and Pat and the family. Think of Boston College, of course, a Jesuit school, Marquette, fine Roman Catholic school, and Notre Dame.
Remains first down.
There's the penalty. Al McGuire is just one of the most genuine and unique men I have ever had the pleasure of knowing, and he's on all of our minds. Tom O'Brien, the Boston College coach. Penalty moves it back to the 21-yard line. 48-34. Suggs, a yard. And it would appear that Tom O'Brien's going to let the clock expire without using. He's got one timeout left. Now Penn State struggling this year. Fourth quarter. Well,
they're trying to get one, and I'd like to send some best wishes too, Vern. You know, college football, we love it. It's very serious to everybody, but well, we'd like to send some best wishes to Adam Teleferro, who got injured in the Ohio State game, the serious neck injury, and we just hope things work out the best for him and his family as well.
Of course, the Penn State player who was hurt. There's the handoff to Jarret Ferguson, number 27. Final minute to play. Virginia Tech remains undefeated. Frank Beamer and the Hokies. And the clock winds down. 3rd and 11. The executive producer of Home Depot College Football is Terry Ewert. The coordinating producer, Craig Silver. Today's game directed by Bob Fishman. The studio show produced by Ben DeVito and directed by Linda Molino. The coordinating producer of CBS Sports, Harold Bryant. The associate director for today's game, Jim Cornell. The associate producer, Roger Wilson, and the broadcast associates, Sellershy and Corey Fishman. Our technical manager, Bob Jamison. The technical director, Dennis Stone. Here in the booth, Chuck Gardner, known affectionately as Santa Monica Chuck. Joe Castana, Nancy Lundquist, Matt Sign. We got a large traveling circus. And on the field, look at that. What a wonderful shot.
That's Frank Spaziani, the defensive coordinator, probably just whispered to Michael Vick, "I've never seen anybody like you before in my coaching career."
48-34. Hokies win it. They go to 4-0. Boston College at 2-2. This has been an entertaining game, led by Michael Vick. For Todd Blackledge and Jill Arrington, I'm Vern Lundquist. So long from Alumni Stadium. Our final score 48-34. This a presentation of CBS Sports.